What's the first thing women notice? Your face. That's why you got to take care of it. Simple things like getting a haircut, grooming your face, and brushing your teeth is important. But there's one thing guys miss and that women always notice. It's when a guy isn't taking care of his skin. That's why I'm so excited to have T. Shanley as a sponsor of today's video. T. Shanley simplifies the process of taking care of your skin. They provide you with all the products you need and nothing you don't. Seriously, I don't think some of you believe me when I tell you how much implementing a quality skincare routine will improve your confidence in all aspects of your life. I recommend you start with the level 1 system, which comes with all the basics: daily face wash, exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer with an SPF 20 and a PM moisturizer. But and to make it dead simple for you guys, they provide an instruction card in every box that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. But because T just sponsoring this video, they're offering you an amazing deal. Just click the first link in the description and get 40% off your first skincare system and free gift. Plus, as a member, you'll get 20% off for life. By the way, one of their new gift options is a silicone body scrubber, which is a $20 value and a complete game changer. Once you use this, you'll never go back to a regular loofah ever again. So don't wait any longer. Click the first link in the description to start your skincare journey today.
What's going on, family? How you doing? Let me go ahead and introduce the group. Whites, Swing,
Oh, it's hot. That's why it's overheating.
What's going on? What's going on? Y'all doing?
Oh.
Can y'all hear me okay?
Sorry.
Can y'all hear me? Yeah? Okay. So how y'all doing? Nobody say nothing.
Not feeling well.
Dro, I'm cleaning this bitch. And I'm finna show the lean in this bitch. Nick. Oh, y'all don't know that song? All right, never mind.
Yes, we know that.
I was in this bitch. Grand Hustle Kings are lean to get. What's up, Joe? How you feeling?
What's going on? What it do? What it do? How you doing? Let's go ahead and get this show started, man. Good to see you guys. I feel like I'm hearing some feedback or something. All right. I think I'm good now. Let me see. It's good to see you guys, man. Welcome to Lapeef Let's Talk. Happy Thursday to all. Shout out to the sponsor, T. Shanley Uncomplicated Skincare for Men. 40% off along with a free gift. And if you become a member, you get 20% off for life. That link is in the description. What's going on, Dale Matthew? How you doing? Bronu, Christopher Matthews, Fishing and Fit. As you guys come in, be sure to hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you are catching this on a replay, do me a favor, hit that like button as well. How y'all doing this Thursday? I know Shan is a little bit under the weather. As everybody else.
I don't know. I'm curious, Dale. What I do to you? Why you don't never say nothing to me? His ass always, he makes sure he implement what we want to say something to. I always wonder, like, what did I do to piss this thing off? It's probably something good.
Yeah, make sure you don't get too much into the chat now, y'all.
No. I'm just playing.
I'm messing with you. What's going on, Andre Cable? How you doing? AP, what's going on, brother? How you doing? Yeah, there's something going around.
That's my homie, AP. Yes.
Yeah, there's something going around. I was under the weather for about a month trying to get it together. I haven't caught the flu since I was a child, but apparently I can get the flu now. I still don't think I'm messing with that flu shot, though, but
it's a new type flu going on. All types of cats that don't really get sick got hit with it.
Yeah, it got to be something, man, because I was definitely down. You know, people thought I was faking because they ain't never seen me like that, but every time I was coming up on here, I sound like I was congested.
They thought you was faking?
Yeah, because you know Valentine's Day coming up. This nigga trying to pre-plan so he can.
Man, this was around Christmas. This was like right after Christmas. Oh, what you got? The blue light special going on there? I think that's the same like they used in Belly, ain't it? When they was coming through the club, yeah.
However do you want it? However do you need me?
I see.
I mean,
Tell BH I said what's up. Oh, okay. Anyhow, Bruno already came through with the super sticker for $3. Want to thank you for blessing the platform, sir. Appreciate you. So I think we're gonna go ahead and get into the main topic, man. I thought this topic was quite interesting. Very interesting. It's something that's different, right? But when I was listening to it, it kind of reminded me of some of the issues that we have that's going on here. And I think it'll do us a good service to look to see what's going on, because we're not the only people that's going through struggles. I think everybody always focus on the Black community, but apparently other nationalities, other countries, they having some issues as well. And I don't think that y'all are aware of it. So it seems to be a global problem, a global issue with some of the things that we are dealing with. Let me get to AP, man. Let me see if I can get these air horns real quick. Partner with the $50 says, I haven't properly hit the collection plate in a few shows. What's good, my boy M. White, Trev, Sweeney, the ladies, what's good? Allie, my girl Shan, the new home, Aisha, salute y'all. Thank you, APA. Thank you. But yeah, as I was saying, I think it is important to look at. It was an interesting video, man. I was engaged the entire time. I actually played it about 3 or 4 times. But I did break it up into some pieces. I'm going to periodically stop. I want y'all to kind of keep in mind about the Western culture, not necessarily narrowing it down to Black community, but we got issues in the Western culture. And I just want y'all to, when I do stop to get reactions, just kind of keep that in mind as you guys are responding and giving your thoughts about what's going on with the video. All right, Amir? It's a safe space, Amir. No worry. I don't think nobody's in the hot seat. Aisha, simmer down. Simmer down. Stand down. I gotta get my Trump voice. Stand down until it's time. What's going on, Bruiser? AKA Mr. Darwin McPherson. You good?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Doing well.
Okay. Yeah. I see you got the specs, man. So you're gonna be giving us some intelligent responses, huh?
No, man, my eyes are hurting. So put these on, everything go right when you're looking at the screen. Think they call it like the little blue tint or something like that? Whatever.
Oh, looking at the screen.
Blue light.
Did he ask you if you was gonna give an intelligent answer? And you said no.
Nah.
Hey JR, I'll be right back, bro.
Oh, got no intelligent answers for you today, bro.
I try to keep my answers on a 6th grade level and below. You want intelligence, you gotta go to my channel.
Okay. Gotcha. All right, Shan, you there?
Hold on, wait real quick. Did anybody catch that when Sweeney was talking?
Yeah.
Y'all ain't hear
You said y'all are 6th graders.
He said something, then you heard the so you know what he doing.
Oh, Sweeney left. He said he had to go.
Hold on. I think Darwin was listening a little harder. And you said, what happened now?
All I heard was splash. So you know what that is.
And nobody heard that but you.
Well, I still don't know what it is. You want to enlighten me?
Hold on. You don't know what that is?
When he splashed? You taking a bath?
Hey, yo.
I don't know what's going on here, man.
Well, you ain't never been using the restroom and splash. Backsplash.
I mean, can you really hear that?
Hey, yo.
I don't think that's what that was.
I don't know what's going on here, man. Y'all. Maybe he's sick too, man. Sipping on that tea over there too, Shan. I'm about to kind of separate y'all. You over there.
Exactly. It might be contagious. Yeah.
Somebody take his temperature, man. Get that boy some ice, cool him down a little bit. All right. What Sweeney said, he gonna miss the first part of it. But anyhow, so as I was saying before, man, I do want to highlight what's going on. It seemed like who just dropped off? Who was that? Who we lose?
I'm white.
Okay.
Yeah, Marcus.
I'm about to do a sound check about an hour early or something like that. Just like we just have a hard time getting it together. But yeah, so there he is right there. I'm gonna go ahead and get it started. So many have to just kind of catch in, man. But I did want to read a little something. So imagine a place where wealth knows no bounds. Skyscrapers pierce the clouds, luxury cars cruise flawless. Highways in every corner gleams with prosperity. This country is celebrated for its booming economy and world-class infrastructure. Seems like a paradise on the surface, yet beneath the shimmering, the last deeply unsettling reality. Here, women, despite being surrounded by opulence, grapple with unexpected struggle, loneliness in a land where love stories are meant to bloom amidst success. Many find themselves yearning for connection. What's more puzzling, the men, instead of embracing this affluence, are leaving searching for something beyond the borders of this glided cage. So it's a little introduction, but I'm gonna go ahead and play this first clip and then we'll go ahead and get into it.
Women, despite being surrounded by opulence, grapple with an unexpected struggle, loneliness. In a land where love stories are meant to bloom amidst success, many find themselves yearning for connection. What's more puzzling? The men, instead of embracing this affluence, are leaving, searching for something beyond the borders of this gilded cage. Qatar, a country thriving economically but unraveling socially. By the end of this journey, you'll understand the stark contrast between external wealth and internal fulfillment. Could the world's obsession with material success come at the cost of deeper human connections? For Qatari women, this environment of progress and prosperity has brought remarkable opportunities. Education, in particular, has been a cornerstone of the nation's modernization efforts. Qatar has invested heavily in institutions such as Education City, which hosts branches of world-renowned universities. Women make up a significant portion of the student population, excelling in fields such as medicine, law, and engineering. Many Qatari women are now leaders in their fields, breaking barriers and challenging stereotypes. They are doctors, entrepreneurs, diplomats, and innovators. The nation celebrates their achievements, positioning them as symbols of progress and modernity.
All right, that's the first clip, man. What are some of the things y'all noticed that's similar in the Western culture that's going on over there? Anybody can go first. All right, Ellie, what did you notice?
Is that me? Well, the first thought that came to mind was that they're probably excelling better in STEM than we could ever attempt to try. So it seems like there's a higher focus on that, which is similar to the Western world. It's just that we fail at it. So that's the first thing I noticed, is that the STEM is what their areas of focus are.
Okay. What about you, Aisha?
Say just the fact that the women are being progressive. I think that for it to be Qatar, the women are being, progressive like we are here in the Western world.
All right. What about you, Trev?
I think Aisha's on the right path. It looks like they're gonna start dealing with some of our problems, similar to, that's pretty much what destroyed the family fabric, was when the ladies decided to do the same things men are doing and less focus on a home, more focus on career, and the family structure fell apart. So that's probably what they're going to be looking at in the next couple of years.
But if it's something that they're pushing that's part of the culture, then like why wouldn't they prevent that from happening? Why is it? I'm just wondering, why is it accepted if it's going to pose a problem in the long run?
I don't think that the general public foresees it as a direct connection, or like, I don't think they see that it's going to be that type of an issue. But which is strange, but I really don't think so. And I get it. I do understand that, women should be able to do most things that men can do. However, the situation is when you, who's going to watch the house though? Who's going to look over the house? Who's going to make sure that the house is a home? Who's going to do that? So to me, in a lot of situations, especially when you want to excel, if you're working, that's one thing. But when you decide that, you're going to excel as your career, then there are certain sacrifices. When men do those sacrifices, a lot of women are expected to understand, okay, well, I'm not going to be home as much, but, I'm providing for the family. The problem is once the ladies decide to do that, then the consequences are dire. So that's what I think they're facing.
Okay. Go ahead, McPherson. What are your thoughts about what you heard thus far?
I did hear something that stood out to me, but it didn't have any clarity, was that the men were leaving, they were going abroad, or they was going elsewhere. But I couldn't quite grasp why, because I'm trying to draw the conclusion between why there aren't any men for these women. It says they're leaving to go somewhere else. Is they going to somewhere? I guess they're going to Qatar for work. Are they leaving like where they at to go somewhere else for economic reasons maybe? And that's why the women are left without a mate. I think that's a reasonable thing. If, you know what I'm saying? You got to go, get on your purpose and create a life for yourself. But then I guess you start seeing you start seeing women in that area, I guess in Qatar, that's doing pretty much the same thing you're doing. And then there's probably like a disconnect between, okay, who's going to take a step back from their career and their purpose, and who's going to continue. So is that why y'all are saying they faced with the same dilemma we had? I guess in Qatar, that's doing pretty much.
Okay. I know what's going on there. But you was asking a question to the panel?
Yeah, I was saying, is that what y'all saying? Is that why y'all were saying they're facing the same dilemma as us, because they're leaving to go to Qatar to work, and the females that's there working. The issue is who's going to take the back seat, who's going to take the driver's seat as far as relationship dynamics when it comes to pursuing a job, career, purpose. Is that what y'all?
The Rosie the Riveter situation, but just in different fields, like, because that's what happened here, right?
Hold on, say that again, Ali.
I'm wondering if it's a Rosie, because I'm not familiar with the country's economics or anything. I'm wondering if it's a Rosie the Riveter situation, which is what happened here, but just in different fields. Kind of like how I said, I pointed out it's in STEM. Is there something like, you're saying the men are leaving? Is there something happening with the economy that's forcing these women to like fill these roles that are being left?
Well, those women look like, from my experience, from what I've seen in my life, those women don't look like they typically work careers. Those women look like they're stay-at-home wives or something. I never seen those type of women, in that culture working like that next to men. You get what I'm saying? So maybe the reason why they're working is because maybe they have to survive.
Okay. Let me get a mirror in there. Mirror, what are your thoughts so far on that little introduction video?
I've never been to Qatar, but I know that our culture in general, the issue that we normally face is the culture being too strict, and that's where we have problems. Example, we're not allowed to be in public and show affection. A lot of times, a lot of men are finding it hard to find women because it's hard to interact with them. They don't see them in school. They don't see them when they go to the mall. They don't see them at the movies, because when you go to the movies, there's women's section, men's section, family section. When you go to eat, it's men's section, women's section, family section. There is no mingling. So a lot of Arab men find it hard to get to know a girl. If they want to marry her, the only way to really get to know a girl is to go through the family and to have the families meet one another. So, and as for education, education has never been an issue in the Middle East for us. I believe that one of the first universities was in the Middle East. One of the first universities was in the Middle East. We've never had an issue about women not being able to be educated. Women have had businesses, education, have been doctors for a very long time in the Middle East because we need them. We need women doctors because women are not allowed to be seen by male doctors. So there's a need for women to be in these careers. So education is not the issue. I don't know what they're going to say, why the Qatari men are leaving. So I'm interested to know why the Qatari men are leaving. But our main issue is our culture, our strictness, the unwavering, unbending culture that's too strict.
Okay. Shan, you there?
I am.
Okay. What are your thoughts about it on the first clip?
I mean, everybody said everything. I think the best opinion probably comes from Mira. She probably knows more about it than any of us, right? I don't know enough about what's going on, but I mean, it seemed like it's just the video kind of seemed like a scary. I'm gonna be honest, scary movie starting. It's like no people around, and it seems very staged a little bit. I don't know. Beautiful women. I don't know why the men are leaving. That's crazy. They seem very like good women. Of course I don't know them, but they look like they're pretty good women. And I think that social media, all this stuff has done damage to a lot of people. The grass is always greener on the other side, right? People leave for opportunity. I don't know. I got to see more of the situation. It's a cliffhanger. Like there's not enough information in the video. Like we need to know why the guys are leaving, and like Amir said, now that makes sense. If women have always been in those roles, this is nothing new, right? So that wouldn't be the difference. The only difference, it sounds to me, is that the men are leaving. So we need to know why the men are leaving. I guess that's where I am.
Okay. Sweeney, I don't know if you saw it. You didn't see the clip, did you, Sweeney? All right, I'm going to go ahead and go to the second clip.
For all their accomplishments, Qatari women face unique challenges in navigating societal expectations. While they are encouraged to pursue education and careers, cultural norms still prioritize family and marriage as central to a woman's identity. Many women find themselves walking a tightrope, striving for professional success while managing societal pressure to conform to traditional roles. These tensions are further exacerbated by the growing trend of Qatari men marrying non-Qatari women. This dynamic leaves many Qatari women without suitable partners, as cultural restrictions often discourage them from marrying outside their nationality or tribe. The resulting imbalance has given rise to what some describe as a silent epidemic of loneliness, hidden behind the country's glittering facade. Qatar's wealth and progress are undeniable. Its cities gleam with modernity, its citizens enjoy unparalleled benefits, and its cultural institutions are global benchmarks. But beneath the surface lies a more complex reality, a tension between the external trappings of success and the internal challenges of navigating a rapidly changing society. This duality is particularly evident in the lives of Qatari women, who embody both the triumphs and the struggles of a nation at the crossroads of tradition and modernity.
I know they spoke about loneliness. What are your thoughts about that, Sweeney?
Huh. I guess they're going to have podcasts over there too now, huh?
Period.
Where a bunch of women are asking, why are the men doing this? And then a man start their podcast to try to explain to them why they're doing it. And they're going to probably get treated like we do. I seen a comment in the chat. Did anybody ask the men why they're leaving? Has anybody asked them? Say, hey, why are you going somewhere else to find women elsewhere? They're right there for you to ask. Probably leaving. This is why we upset.
So let me ask you this: are they working because they don't have a husband, or are they working because they can?
I think they're working because they can. I think it's when they first opened it up, they just because the country is wealthy, like it's just glam everywhere. So money is really not the focus, but they are still pushing education, from what it seems like, from what I heard, and that seems to be the focus for a lot of the women, which would probably explain why the men are going elsewhere. It's going to be more to the story that we're going to unpack, but I'm just kind of trying to layer it a little bit, and I play the video continuously. But it's not because of money, because it's not like the whole country is basically rich.
And the men are going out of the country entirely, because they mentioned tribes. So are they just going?
Well, they're bringing other people in, which is going against what they really want. They want them to marry within, almost similar to how you hear us say, stick with your own. But they're married. They're bringing other people in, and they're kind of shifting the whole culture, which is kind of frowned upon. But because the men are able to do it, they're kind of just doing what they want to do.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting, because they'd rather, instead of like the native women to their land, they're bringing women from other cultures. So no matter what, both ways it's going, there's a cultural divide happening. That's interesting.
I can answer a little bit more now since I heard more of the video. There is an issue with the type of women that are educated, and it's not the same as America, where it's like they're like, oh, I don't need no men. It's not like that. What we have is class. So the women who are doctors, attorneys, and so on, they typically come from upper class families that can afford to obviously educate their women, because poorer families just educate the men. So because it's a waste of money to educate women when you're poor. So you have women who come from these high class families, and if you marry them, they tend to be bratty. They want the whole world. They want everything, and they're very competitive against other people, because an Arab's favorite hobby is to talk smack. Like all we do is sit around and talk smack about the neighbors, and it's so fun. It's so fun. But it's wrong. We're not supposed to do that. But it's just so fun to have tea and sit around the fire and gossip. So what a lot of those
y'all ain't too far off.
a lot of those upper class women do is they push their husbands to the edge. They have these bratty attitudes, like, you must buy me the biggest house, the biggest this, the biggest that, and they push the men all the time. But a lot of them are, because in our culture, women, when they make their money is not for the men at all. Women do not share their money with the men culturally. Men's money is for the family. Women's money is for her. She can spend it as she pleases, and a man is never to ask her for her money. It's illegal. You're not supposed to do that. You can't take money from a woman, even if she inherits it from her father or from her family. A man cannot take her money. It's not allowed. So women oftentimes, they'll make their money and they'll still demand that their husband pays all these things and buys them the biggest and the best all the time. So there is an issue there. And I think with the advent of the internet, a lot of Qatari and Arab men are seeing other women around the world that don't ask for that much. All they want is like a soda and a hamburger, and they're like, yeah, I'll be with you. They're not like Arab women who are like, no, if you want me, first of all, I'm virgin. So you got to pay mahar. You have to pay high mahar. I want 50 gold bars. I want, 3 cows, 5 donkeys, and 3 horses. I mean, they don't have that. A lot of Eastern women, or not Eastern women, European women, you give them a soda, a burger, and a movie, and they give themselves. They fully like, yes, I love you. Oh my gosh, Ahmed, I want to be your Princess Jasmine. They aren't like Arab women who are like, I'm not happy. I don't like it.
So if I got a red pop Fago in a bacon cheeseburger, what can I get for that?
You're so funny. So funny.
I'm just trying to see what can I get. I mean, I've been to Qatar because I was in the military. That's it's like R&R, but I don't know about the transact. I haven't tapped into the transaction size. You know, there's some off limit places. We got to go to the mall and all that big ass mall. I don't know if y'all been there. It's like a theme park in there, bitch.
So how was the ladies over there?
Took me like 5 days to get through the whole mall. Huh?
How was the ladies?
I mean, they were covered.
Beautiful.
They were covered. They were beautiful. And, actually, you'd be surprised. There was a lot of them that was walking around uncovered.
They've been making paper babies over there.
That area is where you can kind of like take it all off and shit. You know, so you still got to keep your hair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like they got bodies. They be pretty. Like they
still dress modest, bro. Like they don't do all that. But I'll tell you.
So you weren't able to score, or you weren't able to score when you was down there? That's what you're saying?
Nah, that's a married man, man. What is y'all doing?
He said when he's in the military. I don't even think he was married back then, was he?
Yeah, I was married back then.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, the women were dressed modest. The guys were. Most of the guys look like they millionaires for real. There's Lambos everywhere, Ferraris. This is back in 2008. I can just imagine what it is now. But yeah, though, so it sounds like something changed that wasn't there before, and I don't think we got our fingers on it.
The same thing that happened here.
Education, huh?
The same thing that happened here.
Oh, sorry.
So it sounds like they educated the women now.
Amira, I have a question.
Damn. Okay, Dad, go ahead.
I just have a question because she said it's the internet. So, do you think it's like more educated women now to the point where they're outnumbering the educated men? Or is it just really the internet that's changing the way they go about things? Because I was thinking, like, if they never can use their money, the men can't use their money, So if they have enough money to buy themselves these things, were they always expecting their men to come with more?
Or
is
us,
it how they're going about it?
The men don't really care about the woman's education, and also they don't really care about men's education. For men, they want to be rich, they want to have money, because the reason for that is it's not always for a shallow reason. They want to be able to provide, they want to have their family be okay, they just want to have money. And you could have the most uneducated man who works in you guys don't do you know Aramco? Do you guys know Aramco? Aramco is the oil company that gives the oil to BP, Shell, Texaco, all of them. So if you're an uneducated man, but you work for Aramco, you're going to be rich, you're going to be flashy, you're going to have your Bentleys and all that. It doesn't really matter if you're educated or not. If he finds a woman who's educated, that's even better. But it's not a competition like it is in the West, where a lot of women are in competition with the men because of education. Over there, it's not a competition. It's more like demand.
So before social media, would a woman marry a man that is making less than her?
She is okay. You're saying like if a woman is already working and she's already making money, her family would not permit her to suffer if it's possible for her to not suffer. It's not really her choice at that point if it's her first marriage, because they're not going to let her get married to someone who is struggling unless she completely demands it and says that they're going to be okay because he's going to find someone in the future. Some people do marry for love, but the majority of families will not give their daughter off to a man who isn't stable.
Well, what if he isn't, like, what if he's stable but he just makes less than her?
That's fine. That's fine.
That's what I was questioning. And you feel like social media has changed it to where they're like, no, I want, because the Western image is now getting over to them. So now they're like being more bratty about it.
No, we've had this from the beginning of time. Like a lot of Americans didn't know how rich we were even like before, but we've been like this from the beginning of time. Even when it was just like a spice, saffron spice. The saffron spice is the most expensive spice in the world, but Arabs use it all the time just to be like flashy. Like I can use saffron. Like it's just something the Silk Road, the time when they had the Silk Road going through Turkey and Middle East into China, That was a flex back then. Before you even had social media, we're like, oh, I have saffron in my kitchen. You don't. It's always been like this from the beginning of time with Arabs.
I was about to say, Doc, you don't see no damn Bentleys and Ferraris just rolling up and down the streets. You may see a Hyundai, a Honda, a Ford, but we don't got that type of stuff. There's a reason why there's a billionaire's playground over there. We do not have that. Shit, our flash is a Ford is a Ford pickup truck or GMC or some shit. You see one of those, you know that person got some money.
Do they have any numbers on like the men to women there, as far as like the rich, like the ratio of men to women?
What do you mean?
Did they talk about that in the video at all? Because I didn't see the first video. Like the ratio of
No,
rich
not
men
gonna
to
talk
rich
about it.
women.
I don't think they're gonna talk about it, but I'm gonna play this next clip and then we'll dive a little deeper into it.
Women in Qatar. Beneath the dazzling skyline and shimmering affluence of Qatar lies a quieter, more somber reality. For many Qatari women, the pursuit of love and companionship has become an increasingly elusive goal. Despite the country's extraordinary progress in education, infrastructure, and gender equality, the deeply ingrained cultural expectations surrounding marriage present challenges that wealth and modernity alone cannot resolve. Marriage in Qatar is more than a union between two individuals. It is a cornerstone of societal identity. Historically, families have placed immense emphasis on preserving lineage and tribal connections through carefully arranged marriages. These traditions are seen as a way to maintain the integrity of Qatari culture, but they often come at a cost.
It's like they're having some marriage issues over there too. Stan,
Yes.
what you thinking so far over there?
I mean, I'm just listening. I mean, again, it's not my area of expertise. I'm just listening to the video, learning more.
Expertise.
Waiting to jump in.
Yeah, go ahead and jump in. Just how you feeling. I mean, I remember I told you kind of keep in mind about the Western culture and how it is over there. You know, are you seeing some similarities? Can you relate?
Can I relate to?
Yeah, man, you just been there. But go ahead, Amir.
I can't even relate to half the people over here. What the hell?
What I was saying was glass ceiling when it comes to women's careers. That's where women get stopped. When he's talking about the pursuit of love and everything, there is a glass ceiling that is a lot lower than for American women's. American women's glass ceiling is like not being able to be the CEO. Arab women's glass ceiling is a lot lower. You need to always remember your place. You're still a woman. Even though you're a doctor, you're still a woman. So don't get too excited.
Do you think it's a push for women's to break that glass ceiling? Like, is there a strong movement in your opinion to push to break the ceiling?
There is. In Saudi Arabia, they have the princess of Saudi Arabia, Amira. Her name is Amira. She was the one who was breaking that ceiling, saying that it's old tradition to keep women back just because they're women. We are not going to keep not educating women because they're poor. Because in poor families, they don't educate the women because it's a waste of money. You can just get her married instead of putting her through school and wasting our time. So, the princess of Saudi Arabia, Amira, said that. And yeah, there is that. There is some women's rights and stuff like that.
I commend, first of all, I commend them and their culture on the emphasis on education and pushing that forward, right? I think that they're running into the paradox that a lot of the men complain about in regards to, like she said, the spoiled brattiness. Like in general, that's not a characteristic that men, even like in America. I don't want to date women with that personality trait. I've made it my life choice to avoid them. No matter how much money I have or did not have, I was not dating those type of women. Like I tried a little bit in my 20s because I met some cold, thick ones. But then it was like, no, I can't do this shit, bro. Like I can't do this. Like the CEO of ING, I don't know if you know what that insurance company is. I dated his daughter for a little while. Couldn't do that shit. Like, it wasn't for me. like I said, it wasn't for me. But I think we at the precipice of men having to come to terms with if women, if masculinity is gonna no longer be defined by the money you make or your career specifically, then you got to bring other things to the table in America. And that may become an issue there as well, where it's not just going to be based on being a good man and what you bring. Like, you're going to have to excel in some other things, you know, like actually relating to them, being able to be, because Amira said earlier that they might not have interactions that are as personal with the women. So it makes it difficult for them to learn how to talk to women and all of those things. So you mix that dynamic with women's romanticism that they see online, on television shows, on their favorite soap operas, and what they think the interaction with men should be like, and you pair them with the inexperienced man, and that's going to create chaos within a relationship, because he can't live up to this expectation that she would have in her mind, and vice versa for the man. If he has an expectation on what he wants her to be, and she sees herself. That's why I asked the question about fighting for women's civil rights and all those things. If she sees herself as an advocate for women's rights, a lot of times that juxtaposes them against family structures, because that advocation usually means that they feel men are demeaning to them, and they're fighting against the patriarchy. They're fighting against men. And when you have that type of dynamic, it's almost impossible to be in a relationship unless you can hang that at the door and never bring it in the house. But if she truly believes it enough to get active with it, it's embedded in her, and it's hard to build a family with that type of mentality in any culture.
Go ahead, Darren. I think you're gonna say something.
I was gonna ask Amir, in that country in particular, do they allow polygyny?
Yes.
So it's not a problem with them. It's not a problem for the men, right? Men are not complaining, right? It's the women that's complaining.
No, they have options now. When they have more insight to other women's, and a lot of them think, am I gonna force myself to get married to a Qatari woman who's going to be nah 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 in my ear all the time and competition against the neighbors? Or should I go for a foreign woman who is more complacent? Complacent, right? Is that the word? Complacent, or not compliant, like comfortable with less. She's more comfortable with less. She's not looking to,
Content with what I have, maybe a better. Yeah, it's more content.
So if men are not having a problem and polygyny is on the table, this video, these videos is misleading. Whoever is in narrative painting it out as if they're lonely and there's not enough men, it's probably a way to shield accountability, maybe, because it may be something else that's causing it. Because if you're saying that it's because of this, the reason why they're not getting married, then that should have been the narrative in these series of video instead of, oh, there ain't no men. Because if polygyny is on the table, then there's unlimited men, technically, right? So it seems like the issue is not about economy or education. It's accountability is starting to spread wide world. Lack of accountability.
Well, so Ali just posted this stat in the back, and I had to go and look it up my damn self.
I was surprised.
Is the country really 75% men?
That was from a BBC news report. So there's, in a country of about 2.5 million people, there are fewer than 700,000 women. So there's far more men in the country than there are women.
If it is true, that stat, which I've never really heard of, but if it is true, there is dark side of Middle East. Of course, you guys probably have heard of dark side of Asia, Middle East, and Africa. It was, female genocide, where a lot of families don't want daughters. So that could be the case, but I don't know.
That's wild.
Can we see who they're marrying? Is somebody looking up to see who they are marrying?
Which country they're going to? You asking, right?
Hmm.
You're asking which country the men are going to?
I could tell you
Yeah.
who
So
they
they,
ain't marrying. I could tell you who they ain't marrying. If they saying they don't
Oh, but before you say that, 90 Day Fiance the other way is a thing. I'm just saying.
I mean, because Americans are American. I mean, you can be taunted like, you know. But I would be interested. Who wants to look that up? Y'all, my fingers hurt.
What was I gonna say, Mike?
That if they coming to America for the women, if they trying to get away from nagging women, then these ain't the women to come to get up with because they nag.
Marcus, that's what I'm talking about. Like, would they be coming to America? Like, I want to know
I don't think they coming to America.
where they going.
Well, so I told y'all about this show 90 Day Fiance the other way. I know it's a snapshot. The other way where the American women are going out there. The last 4 couples, I mean, it's not that big of a size, and the families were extremely against it. They did get American women, and ironically, it was 2 American black women. One that was extremely like she was. It was so she was taking pictures that I don't agree with, but ain't that far out of the realm of what's okay here. You know what I'm saying? The bikini pictures and all of that. And the father got word from cousins, like Amira said, who like to talk shit, and they accused the son of, you seen this, Amira? They accused the son of participating in pornography based off of her taking those pictures. And she was just in a bathing suit. But they was like, the father threatened to kill him. He said, you brought shame on this family, and if you try and move forward with this marriage with this woman, I will kill you. And he was like, shit, I love her. I'm going to do what I want to do.
Hey,
like,
Ali.
It's crazy. Watch the show. 90 Day Fiance the other way. It's wild.
Ali.
Student on that show.
So I looked a little more into it. The reason why there's such a huge population disparity is because they have a huge immigrant population that comes in and works within the country and is mostly young and male. So that's what attributed to the large disparity between the men and women there. It's due to the
So it begs the question of the immigrants that are moving there, are they trying to marry?
No.
I don't think they have that same thing. So this is still they're considered the what, Amir?
They're considered slaves. A lot of them are Indian, so the Middle East has made a new form of Indian from Dubai. It came from Dubai. They made a new form of Indian. What this Indian is a shorter Indian, stockier, and they are very dark and they work very hard in the sun. They don't sweat as much. They don't need as much water as other Indians. And that is what we have as a working class. And they're seen as slaves, and no self-respecting Arab would marry what are you laughing at, Marcus? What?
I don't even think they're allowed. And the living conditions are poor too. That they sleep in very small rooms with a bunch of people. They're basically modern day slaves. Those are the people who are the servants for the hotels and everything else. And they treat them like trash, straight up trash.
Aren't they considered? What do they call the untouchables? What is that?
No. That's a different thing.
That's in India.
That's India.
Yeah, that's Indian caste. We don't have that. We have just like
either you us or you're not us. Either you us or you're a slave.
Us or not us.
Aisha, did you want to say anything? You know, just so you know.
I was just kind of stuck on modern day slavery and the way she just kind of scarcely said, oh, the people with the darker skin are the slaves. I mean, it just kind of reminds me of how things are in this country, and that they're not that far removed. That whole concept I don't understand, but I guess that's a traditional thing.
You took it wrong. Just because they have darker skin doesn't make them slave. We have dark skinned Arabs who are very, very black skin, and they are Arabs. We consider them Arabs. But these people in particular, they're a different type of Indian that was specifically made in the UAE for working. And I'm just mentioning their skin color because they're quite dark. They're not, you can tell. And they're very short and stocky. You can
So they
literally.
they over there breeding pygmy slaves, pretty much. They breeding slaves over there. That's what y'all saying. Okay.
Yeah, kind of in a way, just workers.
Only in dark skin. Like
Yeah,
the lighter skin people they not bred over
Yes. I think it's like
No, they're immigrants. They're not doing it because they're dark skin. They're immigrants anyway. They're not even of the country because they don't treat people of their country like that. They don't see Indians as equal.
Ain't no white Indians?
Sorry,
I said ain't no white Indians, like lighter
yes.
Indians.
There are white Indians. They're usually Punjabis. So there's a difference between like a Punjabi and a Hindu, but that's not us. They're not us. They're not same people.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Sorry, Aisha. Go ahead. Sorry.
God damn, 2.3 million immigrants.
I'm done. I don't have anything else.
God damn.
All right, let me go ahead and play this other clip.
Qatari women, the expectations around marriage are particularly stringent. They are encouraged to marry within their nationality, tribe, and social class, a narrowing of options that makes finding a compatible partner significantly more challenging. While men in Qatar have the freedom to marry non-Qatari women, societal norms discourage women from looking outside their own cultural circles, even as the pool of eligible Qatari men continues to shrink. This creates a paradox. Women are told to aspire to success and independence, yet they are also expected to fulfill traditional roles as wives and mothers. The conflicting demands can leave many women feeling trapped, as their accomplishments are overshadowed by societal judgments about their marital status. A growing number of Qatari men are seeking partners abroad, marrying women from different nationalities who may be perceived as more flexible or less bound by cultural traditions. This trend, driven by both personal and societal factors, has profound implications for Qatari women. With fewer men available within their cultural sphere, many women find themselves sidelined in the marriage market. This is not a matter of choice, but of circumstance, a reality that often goes unspoken in public discourse. The emotional toll can be significant, as women face not only loneliness, but also societal scrutiny for remaining unmarried.
Wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. Did that video just say that the men were leaving to find less traditional women? Damn, well shit, we might well go ahead and swap them up. Shit, send the American women over there. God, what the hell? Wait a minute, you telling me they are leaving to find less traditional women?
That what you heard?
That's what that's what he said.
He did say that less traditional and bound by their culture.
He said not bound by traditions. So I guess that kind of does mean less traditional.
In their culture.
In the culture, yeah.
God, what the hell? This world is something else, boy. I tell you.
The grass always seemed greener. Like people always think the grass greener.
Make more mixed babies.
Oh shit.
And that's
it's like the families don't allow the women to be less traditional. So is it the people like the older, like their parents, grandparents, is it their elders who's not allowing them to be more than what is considered cultural or traditional?
Your parents are the ones who marry you. Your parents, your father is the one who marries you. So
a lot of the people their age is probably growing out of tradition, whereas her parents is making her stay in tradition, like she's not being able to evolve. It sounds like
the parents of boys are trying to be more. Go ahead.
It just sounded like based on what they said, because if it's based on a parent, because I thought it was society at first, but then you said it's based on a parent. So it seems like the men are having new ways of thinking, wanting to do things new ways, because men have the freedom to do whatever. So the men of these women generations, they're having new ideas. They want to do things different, whereas the fathers of the women, they're not on board with, I guess, what the new age men want.
Right. A lot of men, they feel too restricted they don't want to be like their father and grow up with a Arab woman or a Qatari woman and have all the rules and be strict and always live like that. A lot of them fetishize Eastern European women like Azerbaijani, Russian, Ukrainian, Swedish. They fetishize this look and this attitude that these women have. They see it as cool. I don't know. I don't know what to say, like cool, and at least they won't feel old because they feel old when they're with Qatari women. They're like, oh, it's so restricted. She's always going to tell me to be like this and be straight, not straight as in not that way, but I have to be straight line all the time. But some of them want to be more free.
So their
but this,
men are acting like our women.
this is not the majority, so I don't know why this video is saying like this. This is not the majority.
Yeah, because it's like 12%. Like it's not even, you know.
So these men are acting like our women.
They acting like our men. They love toxicity.
Go ahead, Dara.
Oh shit, I saw that.
Now I hope you was here.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we get you. Go ahead.
I don't, like I said, I don't know whether the narrative of this video is accurate. It's just, I can't really connect the dots off what it was saying. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Is we able to corroborate any of this stuff on how the reason why the men are going abroad is because they want non-traditional women?
I think people want what they're not normal. What was not their norm, right? You know, I think that, you know, what you're used to is so much cooler to have what you're not used to having. And I think it's just the reverse of what we're seeing here.
How can you say they're used to that?
What do you mean?
They ain't married. How can you be used to something they never had?
No, what I'm saying is, like she said, following the traditions of their fathers, right? So like going against the grain, so to speak. Something that you're used to seeing, like you want to step outside, you know, do something different.
Like, so Dara, like when I talk about what I went through with my uncles, and they was telling me about the problems they would have with their wives, I desired to get women that were extremely different from the women that they had, as far as we would have different interactions. So, you know, on a interpersonal level, it may be things that they didn't like about specifically the women in their culture that they were trying to get away from those specific character traits. And I think it's a human thing, really. Like Shan said, it's the grass is greener, and we might look at the women who are popping at it and making a real effort to be done up all the time as just extra. But like Amira said, if that's cool, if they look at that as cool and sexy, that's the equivalent for us of the men trying to find single childless women that are at home willing to serve and be traditional. So I mean, it tracks. It should make sense.
You know what it sounds like to me? Sound like some rebellious spirits. They just rebelling.
That's the same thing I'm saying. That's exactly what I said. It just sounds like
They got the internet.
They got the internet.
They seen some shit online and was like, I want that.
Absolutely.
Fuck you, Dad.
Yeah.
It sounds like some rebellious spirits. They got a rebellious spirit.
Yeah.
But that's where I'm unable to connect.
The men are being rebellious.
In one breath, y'all saying that the men always, according to the narrative, the men have always been able to marry and vet women outside of his tribe. He don't have the same restrictions as the woman, culturally. But then y'all are saying he does have the same restriction. That's the reason why he going outside of his tribe. So it's just
I help you. Men, just like in America, the men play with a certain thing and then they marry a certain thing. Arab men, they want to, what's the flavors of the ice cream?
They want to marry the plaything.
They want to see it. They want to feel it because they have never had this opportunity ever in history where they can see all these varieties. They can play with a Russian. They can play with an American. They can play with a Black. They can play with a Latina. They can play with anybody and they can enjoy. But when they get married, they're not going to marry the Russian.
So the question is,
when did they start? Marriage rate is 12%. They married. I mean, the 12% we're talking about are married.
So what?
In other words,
Well, majority of them.
No 90-day fiance.
When did they start? When did it start happening? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Y'all are saying now they can see other women, they can venture into other cultures of women and choose them. Y'all are saying that as if this is a thing that just come to pass recently, as if this wasn't never something that was in effect.
So,
Started in the 70s.
according to the Quran, if correct me if I'm wrong, because I got to brush up, but men can marry women from different faiths and bring them in. Women can't marry a man from outside the faith. So on a religious level, they can't. They just can't do it unless you're already a Muslim man.
It's called conquering. That's part of
Yeah.
conquering. But for McPherson, it started in the 70s. So back in the 70s, I don't know why this happened. I think it happened when Iran and America were going through something. But from that time in the 70s, Arabs started flooding into the United States. If you guys look at the history, there are so many Saudis who came to America, had children with American women, went back to Saudi Arabia. There are many half Saudi children in America that were abandoned because they came here for school and then they did the chaka chaka, they make the goat cheese with Americans, and then they left back to the country and got married to an actual Saudi.
They make the what?
So it sounds like they've adapted to the Western men mind frame then at this point.
They make the what? What you call it?
I think that she's saying it just being men.
I'm
The
not going
goat
to say that.
But
It's
you
goat
saying-
cheese. They make the goat cheese.
So you saying in the 1970s?
Around the
Something
70s or
happened.
80s, that's when it began.
That's when it began. Like when we say it, like what was the catalyst for them in the 1980s that said, oh,
I don't
She
know.
said the 70s, but immigration reform happened off of the civil rights movement, so other people could come into America in abundance. So that would track with that timeline.
That probably is what happened. I don't know. I can't lie and speak out of my rear end on that one. I don't know why it happened, but it happened around that time.
and that's why I don't want to, because I sometimes I like to get meticulous and figure out what actually happened to cause these men to want to say we don't want our woman no more. But right now we're kind of speculating on a movement that happened back in the 80s or 70s, because now they can catch a flight and be with a different woman now.
But she also made the distinction that they were playing with those women. So they, it's who knows the timeline on how long they play with the women before they come home and actually marry the traditional woman.
But
So
that doesn't make any sense towards the topic, because in that case, if they were coming back to marry their women, there wouldn't be a shortage, right?
Right, they'll still be doing what they're supposed to do, which is you go out there, you sow your royal oats, and then you bring your ass back here and get married. What that documentary is talking about is men who went out there, sowed their royal oats, and said, "I'm gonna stay over here with the royal oats."
And Russians and
you saying that I'm gonna get you, sucker? Was that it? When he said, "I'm not coming home"? To the that goat cheese box.
Kids don't want today. This man is funny.
That goat cheese.
I'm reading into a chapter where I'm trying to connect something different than maybe everybody's speaking. If we're saying that these men have been exposed to something, and they saying, "Oh yeah, now that we can do this, we're gonna go be with these women," what that tells me is that these men never really wanted the woman that went for them. They were waiting.
They were exposed. So let's just be clear. It's only 12%. It's not
right. This is
like
we talking about a small group of minority of
Absolutely.
basically dudes with a rebellious spirit. That's all it is they saw something and they're rebelling against the traditional norms in their country. That's what it sounds like.
Because didn't it say it's arranged marriages too?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you said it's a minority, but this narrative is painting a picture like this epidemic.
It's not. This is just a video. That's why we.
So now bring me back to my point. The narrative is inconsistent, because let's just say for a sake it is true. That means that these guys that were restricted to these women before the movement weren't satisfied with the woman they had. And the moment a movement came and they had access to other women, that was it. Their women. It's almost like
going so deep.
It sounds like they're going off the flesh.
No, it's almost like black. No, it ain't. They marrying outside. So it's almost like like let's say black people came off the plantation. Once we got our freedom, our rights, we had access to travel. We had access to be with other races. But even till this day, even with we still marry our women at a higher rate than anybody we marry. To make it parallel to the guys over there, if at the moment we would have allowed in the right to go and travel and marry other women outside our race, we would marry outside our race, and black women wouldn't have no black men to marry. That would be the parallel. That would mean that we were waiting, like we were like the moment we got access to other women, that was over with for them. You get what I'm saying? But that ain't what happened with us. So because we still love ours. So what I'm saying is, if that narrative's true, that means these men originally they didn't want their women.
Look, that's not the same, because 12% is, I think it's about 12% of us too. So it's the same.
No, he said assume, like, if we was just to grant the argument that this actually is an epidemic over there. He's just basically saying, okay, let's grant that this dude is making this the video is making this bigger than it actually is. So he's having a conversation on the epidemic rather than what's actually true. Basically, what if scenario? You said what, bro?
Isn't that what we be doing every day?
Yeah,
having the conversation on
on some extreme. Yeah.
So.
Go ahead, Ali. I think Ali was trying to get in there. Go ahead.
Oh, it just begs the question in my mind, if the men are leaving the country and that percentage is not coming back because they liked the oats that they have soiled over there, what and with the women seeking more independence and being more professionally driven, I wonder what that is like, as far as if they've explored dating outside, or if it's not allowed, like if they're allowed to date outside of their race at all.
No, they're not allowed. That's what the videos said, and Amira probably got some insight on that as well.
You cannot. The only way you can is if you live outside. If you live outside of the Middle East and you live in America and the family approves. But if you are in Qatar, you cannot marry a non-Qatari.
Yeah, in college, a lot. It's not just Qatar or the Middle East. It's India. Several cultures act that way, where you can't bring somebody home. But you will find in college they dating and having sex and doing their thing with, black men. It happens a lot, and then they'll be like, "Well, we can't get married because my family won't." You know what I'm saying? Won't accept this relationship. That's like a big thing.
So what I see is, if all of this stuff is true, and the men know that these women have a restriction, and they still marry outside of race, knowing that the numbers are going to be, it's going to be an epidemic, and these women are going to be lonely. That tells me that
they're degenerate.
They don't give a fuck about their women.
Yeah.
We know you ain't gonna be able to. We know you got boundaries on who you can. You can't go outside of your tribe. There's a scarcity. There's no one left. We're not gonna marry you. No, because I think it's a matter of consideration at that point. Like, your women ain't gonna be able to marry nobody else but you. And you know that. You're aware of it. And you still go and marry outside, leaving them with no one.
Yeah, that's pretty cold. That is pretty cold.
That's damn near borderline criminal at that point.
That's heartless. It should be a rule. But the fact that it ain't a rule would suggest that these men have the courtesy and they would never do that. So therefore, it never needed to be a rule.
But what are you saying, that because now, let's say this 12% is something that just happened out of nowhere, right? Like, this is recent, but 12% is still a lot if you think about it. Do you think that they might have to change the rules to get their men back in line, just in case this might become a slippery slope?
You forget that they have polygyny still.
Because the thing is, like, this isn't really conquering. If you're going out, like, this isn't them coming to America and being able to take the land. Like, no, you out here just frolicking around while your women are back at home, like to Bruce's point, with nobody to marry. So you're not even doing it. You're not even doing what the intended purpose of it when it was. There was an intention behind it. There were people going around conquering lands and this, that, and the third. Now you just out here playing house. So do y'all believe that might have to be a law that, like, let's say, for instance, this becomes a slippery slope. Let's just beg the question, like, all right, it goes from 12 to 15 to 20 to 30 in the next 40, 50, 100 years. At what point do you have to put boundaries? So at what point do the country have to start setting boundaries or relinquishing some boundaries?
In Britain, I don't know if you guys know what's happening in Britain, but there is an Islamization happening in Britain that the British are trying to fight against. This is part of that conquer thing. And I don't agree with it. You know, I'm Arab and I still don't agree with this because I don't think it's right for, you know, I used to live in Liverpool. The beautiful thing about Britain is the British, not the Arabs. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. When I go to Britain, I don't want to see Arabs everywhere. I want to see British. But you talking about Sweeney, you said like what the conquering, that's happening right now. Many British women are converting to Islam and having Arab, half Pakistani, half Muslim babies. Anybody Muslim?
To answer your question, Sweeney, it kind of is a law that kind of compensates for this kind of behavior. The fact that polygyny is on the table, telling these men you can have your cake and eat it. I'm not going to even call that. Telling these men you can have as many women as you want. Just stay here. The fact that you can do that and you still go outside tells me it's got to be something other than the women outside. It's got to be something with these women that you're dealing with. And like I said, something is masking something about these women. And I don't think it's just this right here. It's got to be something deeper than that.
I got a question.
But I think that's. But the thing is that we've seen kids that rejected their parents before, because the thing wasn't they're not rejecting the women. They're rejecting the tradition. They're rejecting the tradition that holds them accountable and holds them to a certain standard. And they're saying, I don't want to live this life.
What is that? What is the standard that they're rejecting, that they're getting away from, that they wouldn't have if they married an outsider? Where's the contrast at?
I would assume that they have a certain level of responsibility that they owe, like, you know what I mean, that they owe to their wives. They have a certain level of responsibility that they owe to their communities that you have to do as a married man. After you're done playing around outside, when you come home, let's get down to business. And they may not, this group of men may not want to get down to business.
Real fast, and Amira did mention that, you know, the father has to want you to marry her daughter. Maybe the qualifications, maybe they're not meeting them or something. I don't know. But I had a question for Amira. When it comes to polygyny, like whatever, what are the rules? Like, so does the wife have anything to say about that, or does she have an opinion in that? How does that go?
Yeah, the first wife has the say. The first wife, typically. So whoever was the first wife, yeah.
So it could be that those women don't want to be a part of that situation, right? Is that what you're saying?
No. Oh, are you talking to Sweeney or me?
No, I'm talking to you.
Oh, no. I mean, it depends on the woman. There's some women who want more wives because they don't want the burden of childbearing and child rearing all on themselves and taking care of the home. They want help. Many women would prefer a community instead of being alone. Okay. We see things a lot differently.
Well, then that makes sense for that proves Bruiser's point. It is something else that's, you know, because if the women are on board, why wouldn't you just marry multiple women and that just solves the problem?
That's why I said I think it's an expectation of the men that they're rejecting. They're rejecting their traditional role.
Yeah, but you're saying that as if their traditional role doesn't extend out to whoever they marry. You're saying that,
but they still. I don't think they can still marry outside though. You still can't marry outside.
But does that change? So you are, and correct me if I'm wrong. If you married a woman within your tribe or within your culture, you got to adhere to the marriage standards and principles your culture present for you.
Unless your wife is down for not doing it. Because there's women who are down for being rebels too. You got to remember, you can find a woman that doesn't want to be bound by the
What I'm asking is, does the principles and standards that the man supposed to live by, does that still continue regardless of who he married?
Oh, under the religion, yes.
So that's what I'm saying. So like his standards and principles of how he is as a husband to his wife and his children is unwavering no matter who he married. So
is the expectation?
If he married a woman from Miami, he still got to go by his religion or his traditional cultures.
No, not really, because
Is the expectation different as far as when you spoke earlier about like sitting around talking shit and trying to one up each other or playing keeping up with the Joneses? That expectation doesn't necessarily carry over when you marry a woman from another culture, would you say, or do you think it does?
I don't think it's that much pressure, because think about it, a Russian woman is not going to be so eager to be like, oh, we must impress Fahar and Fatima from across the street. They're not going to care. They're going to say, we're in it together. Whatever we can do is what it's going to be.
Also, Bruiser, the reason why I said I think it would be different is because his role is not only the role that is set to him by his parents, it's also set to him by her parents. They also have an expectation of him. So when you marry within, they have an expectation. Your parents have an expectation of you, and her parents have an expectation of you. Am I right, Amir? So when they marry within, another Qatari woman, did I say that right? When they marry another Qatari woman, there's both groups having an expectation of him. So if he marries outside of that, his parents may still have this expectation, but if you marry outside of that and you leave the country, they may get cut off or some shit like that. For all I don't know. But there's no societal pressure from her side of the family. And then there's no societal.
I want to share something with you guys, just really quickly. Run a fun fact. The name of that country, Qatar, there's no proper way to say it. There's no actual proper way to say it, because it was when they made the name of the country, it's not really a word, so you can say it however you want to say it.
Okay.
You can call it Qatar, Qatar, whatever.
QT. Go ahead, Trevor, like you were trying to get in there.
Nah, I was actually just getting educated on it, man. I'm like, I mean, there's certain things that I did learn about it as far as like like how it's different socially. As far as the families being involved, that's something that we are completely not used to, which, from what a lot of us study, we always saw that actually had the highest success rate of marriage. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's just that your parents are better at picking your spouse, or maybe you are afraid to disappoint your family, right? I'm sure that might have something to do with it too. As far as the dudes trying to go abroad, I don't know who said it. Might have been somebody said, one of the ladies said it, where they were saying like for them, that thirst for the European culture, I think, is no different than what a lot of men on our side do, is that they lust after those type of situations and then take it on home. Because at the end of the day, when you reproduce, many people want to stay within their own. They want their children to look like them. They are concerned about carrying on their own legacy. So in order for that to work, it behooves them to stay within their own. And it is what it is. Men just want to do that. It wasn't this type of exposure before. Like when you look at social media now, it's different. Even I'm sure just even a few years ago, when national television became international television, it showed a lot of different people, different types of culture. We had so much more exposure, and it's intriguing. You're like, wow, and he really operates like that. It makes you want to travel to these places. It makes you want to actually experience some of these different experiences sometimes that you see other people do. So the internet just made it crazy because now it's too instant. It's like information overload right now. So I think that what we're going to see pretty soon, because I've seen a lot of things, like even if you were looking at like Saudi Arabia, you know, women couldn't even drive up until a few years ago, but they were getting a lot of pressure from other Western cultures and things like that. They're talking about, okay, well, you know, human rights and different things. And, oh, you know, once you start getting into the sanctions and they start messing your money up because of it, and people don't want to deal with you because of the way your culture is, then people start to shift a little bit. So I think that we're getting closer and closer to one like global type of culture. I think we're going to start to see that in the near future.
All right, let me go ahead and play the rest of this clip.
Personal stories. Aisha and Fatima. Take the story of Aisha, a 32-year-old Qatari woman who has built an impressive career in finance. Her days are filled with meetings, presentations, and international travel. Yet her evenings are marked by solitude. Despite receiving marriage proposals, she struggles to find someone who values her independence and career aspirations while respecting her cultural roots. It's not that I don't want to get married, she explains. It's just hard to find someone who doesn't see my success as a threat. Fatima, a 35-year-old teacher, shares a similar experience. Dedicated to her community and her students, she has found professional fulfillment but feels the weight of societal judgment for remaining unmarried. People ask me why I haven't settled down, as if it's entirely my choice, Fatima says. But the reality is, the men who are left either don't align with my values or they've already married outside the country. These stories are not isolated. They reflect the lived experiences of countless women who are caught between
Kind of sounds similar, don't it?
Societal expectations and the realities of modern life. For many Qatari women, the pressure to marry and the lack of suitable partners take a significant emotional toll. Anxiety and depression are common, particularly among women who feel they have failed to meet societal expectations. The stigma of being single can be isolating, as discussions around these issues are often considered taboo in a culture that values privacy and appearance. The absence of open dialogue about loneliness further exacerbates the problem. Women who struggle with these feelings may hesitate to seek support, fearing judgment or misunderstanding. This silence can make the emotional burden even heavier, leaving many women to grapple with their challenges alone. Efforts to address these issues remain limited, as discussions about marriage and relationships in Qatar are often framed within the context of preserving tradition. While there are initiatives aimed at empowering women professionally, there is less emphasis on addressing the emotional and social challenges they face. Community leaders and social organizations have a unique opportunity to foster dialogue around these topics, creating spaces where women can share their experiences and find support. Such efforts could help to reduce the stigma associated with being single and encourage a more inclusive approach to relationships and societal expectations.
Hold on, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. That video sound like feminist propaganda. If I ain't never seen it. That shit sound like the early 70s in the United States. That's what that shit sound like.
I said I looked at the video and was like, it seems a little fishy to me, but okay, we'll go.
That shit sound like feminist. It sound like they trying to recruit women to
Well, it's an AI generated video.
For word.
Yeah, you don't hear the voice, like the unnatural pauses and shit.
Man, I'm like, this sound like some old, like this sound like I don't know what they trying to do with this video.
Yeah, so that's
right,
why
because you can't date them because it's not like they can date outside there, so what's the point?
Basically, you know how they try to galvanize a group of people to start rebelling against their tradition. That's what it sounds like. Look, y'all men are leaving y'all men are going to other countries and leaving y'all need to go again. Like basically it sounds like this video is trying to convince the women that they need to veer left or veer right because they men are already bouncing on them or some shit like that. That's what that sounds like.
it's contradicting itself. One minute it's saying the men are the ones who are leaving and they don't want. Now it's saying the women aren't getting married because their careers are so big. It doesn't make sense. What is it? Or are they saying it's both of these issues? Honestly, I've never seen this issue in the Middle East. I believe that this video is getting off the path. I gave you guys the truth. We have problems in tradition in our nations. I don't know what this video is basing itself off of. So
there's no way to corroborate any of this stuff as fact. It's to answer the question about who's behind it. It probably is a woman who used a voice AI and wrote this out to try to liberate women, to give them some uprising so they can go be with other men and break their traditions. It could be that, could be a whole narrative behind this. But like I said earlier, man, like you start to see glimpses of some of the stuff that's happening over here. Like these women are getting into their careers and they're wondering why the hell nobody wants them at 30, 35. Like, so even I don't even know if I just don't understand. Like, do women around the world see what's going on with other women in other countries? Like, do they watch? Do they look at the internet and see the dilemmas that everybody has?
But that's not what's happening in the Middle East. We don't have that issue of like men not wanting a woman because she's pushing her career in front of marriage. We don't have this issue. That's why I'm so confused at why this video is saying if the woman for marriage and career, we don't have this issue of women putting their career above a marriage. We can't, because marriage is the most important thing in your life, in our religion and in our culture. There's nothing more important than marriage. So there's no confliction. So this is why I don't understand what this video is.
I haven't even seen, and I look at articles all the time. I haven't even seen it. That would have slipped. That would have caught my eye. An article coming out about an epidemic of women chasing their corporate ladder or up the corporate ladder and costing themselves marriage and family. I would have saw that.
I just want to give y'all the like the scoop on how some of these videos are created. So what happens, there are ideas. These are actual ideas, right? So most AI won't lie intentionally. So this is actual data that's been written about and everything else. So and presented as facts. So you could, let's just say I want to start a video from scratch, right? And I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I want to be a YouTuber. I could literally say, you know, hey Gemini or Google or whatever you want to do. And you say, what's going on in the Middle East as far as relationships, or what's going on in Qatar, whatever. And they'll give you a bunch of facts and stuff like that. But you could be more specific. If you know how to do AI prompts really well, you'll ask it, say, oh, well, I want you to give me a video idea for the stance on relationships or what's going on in Qatar as far as men and women. And they'll give you a whole layout. Copy paste that into your AI voice generator, and then you copy paste that into your AI video generator, and it'll come up with a whole bunch of B-roll for you and titling and description and everything. And all you do is hit upload and it's a wrap. So I say that to say that these ideas were manifested from somewhere. It's on the internet. I don't know who's writing it, but that's pretty much how these are. So it's not like out of thin air. They don't make stuff up. So these ideas are somewhere. There's a lot of truths in it. They do present a bunch of facts. They do include statistics. So a lot of that is going to be genuine. Now the narratives, which is weird to me, sometimes you see a narrative come out. Don't know what's up with that.
Yeah, I was just speaking specifically on the narrative. I don't know if it was AI generated, whatever, but yeah, that narrative sounds very fishy to me. It sound like they
are the women AI too.
Well, let me go ahead and get this last part of it out then.
Oh, I was serious. Like, is those women AI? Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, are they computer generated with the story too?
Hey, sometimes it be them pictures be AI generated. Yeah, sometimes.
We gotta look at their hands.
What you say? AI can't draw hands.
That's just what I heard.
The search for love and companionship is not just a personal journey. It is a reflection of the broader tensions within their society. As the country continues to evolve, finding a balance between cultural heritage and the realities of modern life will be essential. One of the most noticeable consequences of these trends is the demographic imbalance. With Qatari men increasingly marrying non-Qatari women, the population of unmarried Qatari women continues to grow. This imbalance disrupts the traditional family structure, which has long been the foundation of Qatari society. Children born from cross-cultural unions often hold dual identities, which can create challenges in a society that places significant value on preserving cultural purity. While these children enrich Qatar's diversity, they also prompt questions about the continuity of traditions and values. For many families, this duality represents a complex balancing act between embracing global influences and maintaining a distinctly Qatari identity. As more Qatari women delay or forego marriage, their roles within the family and society are beginning to change. Traditionally, women were seen as the primary caregivers and the anchors of domestic life. Today, they are also leaders, professionals, and innovators, reshaping what it means to be a Qatari woman. While this progress is empowering, it also brings challenges. For unmarried women, navigating societal expectations can be exhausting. They are often caught between the pride of professional achievement and the stigma of remaining single, a dual identity that society has yet to fully accept. For families, the absence of marriage for daughters can create tension. Parents may worry about the continuity of lineage, while women face questions about their priorities and choices. This shift in family dynamics reflects the larger transformation happening across Qatar, as the country grapples with redefining its cultural values in a rapidly changing world. The financial pressures associated with traditional marriages are another critical factor shaping these dynamics. Lavish wedding ceremonies, costly dowries, and the expectation of maintaining a luxurious lifestyle can be significant barriers for young Qatari men and their families. These expenses often deter men from pursuing local marriages, further widening the divide.
Finally, some truth at the end. That's the actual issue. So I don't know what all this like women can't get married because of work. This is not true. But the end was truthful. Men are running from the mahar. It's not dowry, it's mahar. They're running from all of this because of the expectations of the families and the women is so high. And it's a lot of pressure.
So it
The
sounds
women
like
they're gonna risk.
it sounds like the women, because they don't. It sounds like in that country they would prefer to hire men in leadership roles. That's just what they prefer. But if the women are out educating them, then they end up getting the role.
No.
Does that make any sense?
That doesn't happen though. We don't have that situation where I don't know, we don't see it that way. Because the women getting educated, they are mostly
Maybe
working.
Go ahead. No, keep going. The women who getting educated, they're mostly working.
They are prized of their families. Their families are proud of them. They're proud to have a doctor in the family. They're proud to have an attorney in the family. We use them. We use each other. We network. But we don't see it as a competition because the man is going to be making money in something else. Maybe the man is in Aramco making oil money. Maybe he's doing something else. But he's not thinking, oh, my wife is smarter than me. And then the woman is like, I'm smarter than you, so I don't need you. We don't have this kind of
Like the families don't think like that.
No, I told you guys this is mostly a Western concept, and that's why I keep telling you that feminism is the cause of it. We do
They're
have
not
an
like
issue.
that.
Sorry,
How much is the maha or the dowry? How much is that?
it depends on the girl and the family and her
No,
maternity status.
Just give me a ballpark then. Spitball it.
For my mahar with my husband, I got a Bentley. I got a diamond bracelet and 2 gold bars. That was it.
So let
But
me ask you,
there's other girls who ask for a lot.
If he said, "Look, I ain't got it. I give you this Yoda. I give you this Toyota and the Xbox," would you would have been like, "No, I'm not marrying you"?
No. If my husband was not able to provide that, or if he said be more reasonable,
Ain't
then
it up to your parents?
No, the woman has the final say if she wants to do it, but the family presents the man.
So it ain't that. So it's not that because these women ain't risking going their whole life and dying alone unless you say it is. I'll take your word for it. These women ain't taking the risk of dying alone because they can't get a Bentley and some goats.
This nigga said a goat. She got 2 gold bars. What are you talking about?
Oh, 2 goat. Oh, I thought you said
What are you talking about?
I was like, I didn't get the goat. But I know girls who get goats. I didn't get a goat.
She got 2 gold bars, a diamond bracelet, and a Bentley.
Don't come off as a goat person. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe he's thinking about the goat cheese. I know the goat cheese is a very popular thing.
Essentially, what I'm saying is, they looking at what they can get, and they're like, "Well, if you ain't giving me that, I'm gonna die alone." Is that true or not true?
No, not at all.
So it's not that. So it's not the what he said. It was Maha Dar.
Like I said, mahar is different for every woman and different purposes. If you are a virgin, a lot of virgins
bring some demons in my house, dude. I'm gonna check that word out. Make sure that word right.
Spell it.
So let me ask you this: Is
let me tell them the spelling. M-A-H-R. M-A-H-R.
Can you just say H?
H-R.
Right.
M-A-H-R. Mahar. Okay, sorry, Trev.
Say H.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you: Is there some type of a standard? So let's say, all right, let's say a woman's got like 2 bodies or something like that. How much does that take off of your?
Depends on who it is.
No, I'm just saying, what's the formula? Is there a formula, like depending on your value?
I mean, women a lot
because,
So it's all subjective.
Like
it's
the
all
women-
in like the. Go ahead.
What'd you say, Lapeef?
I say that the women will lie. You know, they don't want to present themselves like that.
Hell no.
There are families that check the bride before marriage to make sure she's virgin. But anyway,
they put a stethoscope down there. Hold on, no. But let's just entertain what Trev said. Let's just say it is a body.
I didn't even answer it.
Oh, go ahead.
So you said, is there a formula? There's not a formula, but if a man finds value in a woman, even if she's not virgin, but she's honest and she says, I'm not virgin, but I come from this type of family. I want to marry you. You need to give me a mahar. You know what? I just want a rug. I just want a rug. Maybe a rug from the Walmart and whatever. And he will do it. But if she says, I want a Persian rug with Arabian horse and, blah, blah, if he feels a value in her, he will give it to her. Maybe he's in love and he still gives it to her even though she's not a virgin.
So entertain this for me, Aubrey. I mean, Trev, I'm with you on the body thing. If the bodies should cause a discount, right?
Absolutely.
But it depends on the body, right? Like if it's like let's say it's what's the dude name? McLovin from whatever movie that was.
Super bad.
Maybe chip it down a little, but if it's a Mr. Marcus body, I don't know about that one. Like that's a lot. Like I'm not coming to Mr. Marcus.
Not this Marcus. We talking about the other Marcus.
Mr.
Marcus, yeah.
Mr.
Marcus.
The sentiment is the same.
Whatever that means.
I will say, Darwin, I'm not saying these women are doing this, but I have known women to try and get around that by using aim.
Yeah.
Like for real, it's a thing.
It is a thing. There's a lot of women who do that when they're young because they feel they're preserving their V card for that. Wow, at least you would think so, huh?
Look, Ali, I'm still virgin back there. Look, Ali.
Yeah, no, that's the thing.
I mean,
that's 2 separate virginities.
Bentleys, y'all just taking it to the courthouse. Y'all ain't even paying for it. Y'all want a virgin. These men over there paying for that, and y'all over here trying to get it free of charge.
Can y'all imagine how many black women?
We don't call it paying for it. We don't call it that way.
Well, honey, it is what it is.
It's a mandatory gift now. It's not paying for it.
Well, the mandatory gift over here. Trying to give a gift.
You know what's crazy though? At least y'all, we had to do the black. This I ain't gonna say it's a black one over here. It's a certain thing that we have to provide too. But I think the difference between you or y'all women and the women over here We get y'all fresh out the box, untouched, ain't it? That's the difference. I think the virginity is the reason why the mahar.
What I find is weird is that I've heard a lot of people say like women should just like, stick to your traditions and don't give it up and, like stick to, the values. But it's like even those women over there, based on the video, by them doing that, they men just go elsewhere.
But they don't have no fault divorce over there either, do they?
It's like, what if if the man was held to the same standards as the women, then maybe that will work out.
Like I think the men supposed to be virgins, right? Amir?
For their first marriage, yes. For first marriages, you're supposed to be virgins.
Oh,
But there are cases where virgin women have married non-virgin men. I wanted to give you guys an example of mahar. Do you guys remember the Aladdin movie? Aladdin?
Yeah.
Remember Aladdin? So you guys remember when Prince Ali was coming to the palace and he was like, he came with his suit and he had elephants and birds and girls dancing, belly dancers and all that. That was her mahar. He was bringing all this stuff to her as mahar. You guys remember the song where he said, I got elephants and rabbits and not rabbits. You guys understand. Belly dancers and blah, blah, blah.
So they be just spoiling y'all for the cool. Listen, let me just tell you this. What is so now that I'm hearing a mirror in how they do, what's the perk of being a virgin over here?
Hold on, what?
Well, somebody on Dr. Phil sold her virginity for $1 million.
Girl, ain't nobody about
it. Man, look,
it's easier to get married. Like you know how y'all be like, men want us to bust it down, but also want us to be chaste and all this other stuff. Most men agree that even if they've been having sex, if they meet a woman that's a virgin and she wants to take them serious, they won't try and have sex with her because she's a virgin, or they'll pipeline her easier into a marriage. You hear men in this space say that shit all the time. Like they looking for a virgin woman.
Yeah, but there are a lot of virgins that they don't date.
Are there really?
And this is y'all know me. It's virgins out there. Absolutely, they just not in the streets. They're not on the internet with their booties out.
Hold on, where are they at? Hold on, in America.
So first of all, everybody's born a virgin. Everybody ain't popping it out in high school. Okay, I know a lot of virgins because I work in a high school. They are virgins, right?
Who you know?
Those are high school girls. We talking
about
so
high school girls who are seniors who are going into college, right? That's marrying age. So what I'm saying to you is not everybody is just in the street. I think y'all got this.
Now, Shane, how many people?
Let me finish talking. There are women. Y'all just overlook those girls. Those girls are in class. They're doing their work. They're quiet.
Them boys be horny, girl.
It's a virginity app you're using.
The girl who's the cheer girl, who's the popular girl, who got it, the AKA baddie, the sweet girl who's just in her books wearing pink sweatpants and sweatshirts all the time. She's got her little glasses on. You guys overlook that chick.
She ain't being overlooked. Stop the cap. She ain't looking to be married at no 20 years old.
13. I teach seniors.
That's the girl.
I know. I
said
20. If she's in college, if she's a freshman in college or a sophomore or a junior, them girls are not looking to be married.
So
they not even virgin. They virgins because they more focused on.
I get it, Sweeney, but check this out. Because some people are in their books, believe it or not. There is a smart group of kids who are just in their books. But let me just say this. If we had the same thing that Amir them have, and it's like, oh, if you're a virgin, you're worth this, and this. Maybe there will be more virgins.
Or maybe just don't sleep around. Like, what is so hard? You said that there's a bunch of virgins out there. Hold on, wait. You just said, hold on, wait.
Hold on, y'all. One mic.
You just said that there's all these virgin girls in college, and that they all are just being passed over for what?
So what I'm saying.
Hold on, wait. These girls aren't looking to be married in college.
Okay, so women don't control marriage, right? These girls do fall in love with people, right? Now, I can't say where they are on their path, but what I'm saying to you is a lot of times, not every girl is busting it wide open. They're just not. And those girls tend to be the girls that people are over there. They're focused on whatever, their studies, they come from a family, maybe they're the shy girl, so those girls are there. But what I'm saying to you is, and I'm not advocating for it, because I'm team close your legs until every woman just needs to close their legs at this point. But what I'm saying to you is, if we adapted a strategy or a custom like Amira's culture, where you give privilege, or you give you give this privilege to women who are virgins, I think you would see more virgins.
No, you won't. Because you want to know. You want to know why? You want to know why? No, you want to know why? Because those girls ain't virgins. You just said there was a bunch of virgins, but now you're saying that they're not virgins.
That's not what I said, sweetie. Don't do that. That's not what I said. It's 11:34, so I'll excuse you. But that's not what I said.
What you're saying is that they're being passed over.
No.
Hold on, y'all. One mic, y'all.
These are two different groups of girls, right? So I'm talking about the girls who do bust it open. I'm not talking about the girls who are quiet at this point. What I'm saying is, if you didn't reward those girls with attention and they get the high class man, they probably would think twice about busting it open, because they would not have access to these things, right? It's a positive reinforcement. You would be like, okay, I want my daughter to be married. I want my daughter to have this kind of guy, but she can only get this kind of guy if she's a virgin.
So what are the virgins getting?
This high value men in this country do not be marrying virgins.
They don't. So what are the virgins getting?
They do not.
So what are the virgins getting?
I want to add into that a little bit to what
Mr. Nigerian, they're not gonna consider you Nigerian. Over here, once you step into America, you're black. Sorry, you're black. When you go to fill out your job application, there's nothing.
Hey, stay out the chat. Stay out the chat.
Who said that? Put it on the screen. He put it on the screen.
So my question is, since you're saying that these girls who are busting it open and getting married, first of all, we know that's a lie. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, I grant that. What's happening to these virgins that you're talking about? What happens to them?
No,
what are those girls getting?
You're not missing. You're missing her point. To her point, to Chamonix's point, she's correct in a lot of ways, because America doesn't teach the girls to value themselves, to value their virginity, value their bodies anymore. I know they say it to girls like, don't do this, don't have sex before marriage, but that doesn't mean anything, especially if there's no incentive. There's no incentive. There's no goal at the end of the tunnel. There's no nothing. Women are just like, okay, well, my parents say don't do this, but I'm in college. There needs to be more rules. There needs to be more morals, values, and reasons why she shouldn't be doing this. Give women reasons, because a lot of women, they don't just listen to orders. You need family structure, reasons.
So in other words, girls don't know how to act unless you make them act right.
There you go. Exactly. Girls are like donkeys. You have to.
You hear that, Shan? Y'all don't know how to act unless we make y'all act right.
Well, so what I'm saying to you is, I don't know if you have a daughter, Sweeney. Do you have a daughter?
Yes, I do.
So everything you speak trickles down, right? Because your daughter one day will be in high school, and I will hope that she ain't busting it open for everybody. Okay.
She's in high school right now.
Just like you have a daughter, just like Trev has a daughter. Y'all daughters is like, okay, godly, but everybody else is busting it open. Just like you can have a daughter who's not busting it open, and I will hope that's the case. Other people can have daughters who are not busting it open. Not every kid, because I know, I'm around kids all the time. It's not every kid.
Okay, I'm willing to grant that. The problem is that you keep talking about the ones that's busting it open. I'm asking you, well, what's happening to the ones that aren't busting it open? Because you're saying that these women are being passed over. What do you mean by that? Are they being passed over? Or are they getting married? What is going on with those women?
So we look how long it took Venus to get married. She was a virgin in her 40s.
Who?
What's that soccer player? I think she was on Big Brother. She was a virgin. She was on Big Brother. She was like 38 and she was a virgin, still not married.
Are you telling me she was? Hold on, wait. But you got to understand the reason why. You said you're talking about soccer players, and like, were these women highly successful?
So what I'm saying to you,
wait. That was a question.
So yes, these women are successful.
All right. So are you? Hold on. Wait.
Okay, go ahead.
Were these women ready to get married at the age of 19, 20, 21, 25, 35? Or were they pushing off marriage and they were only virgins because they were hyper focused on what they wanted to do in life? So they put sex and marriage and everything on the back burner.
Nobody waits to 40 to be like, oh, women just don't. I think that you guys
one that's adamant on not giving it up until she's married would.
Let me just say this. even successful women want companionship, right? It's just whether or not you find the person you want to be with. We're not just, the thing about women is women do want it. They just don't want it so bad that they'll settle for anything. And that's what the problem is. I've never met a woman who found the man of her dreams and be like, I'm not marrying him. You know what I'm saying? I've never met that chick, even if she's successful. So men have
You've never met that chick in a world where we have a 30% marriage rate?
Right. So what I'm saying to you is most of these women have been in relationships. Those men just did not get on the knee and ask them to marry them.
That's a lie.
Okay.
Half of these women said that they got proposed to 4 or 5 times.
Got engaged to, we would know that she was proposed to. She was proposed to. So let's not. There are so many women in relationships that just don't lead to marriage.
Shan, a lot of these women would claim that they've been proposed to several times. You don't think that they have men shoot they shot at them all the time?
I think they be flossing. I don't think that they I think that it sounds good.
Why can't we just take their word for it?
You can, but what I'm saying to you, so let's take those. So you're right, but not every woman has been proposed to. Not everyone. Some women are with men who they're the placeholder.
But you're saying it as if you don't know any women that would pass up on men to focus on something that they want to focus on. And we know that to be true, that they will. They will say, fuck men, fuck this, fuck marriage, fuck life, because I'm focused on this. Regardless, as a matter of fact, we just had a woman up here who told us if the right man under the right circumstances came to her and wanted to marry her, but he had to give her a child, she said, fuck that, I would turn that man down. So let me just say this. Women,
we know they're in relationships because they having babies by these men, right? So let me just say this. The problem is it's just the person they having babies by don't want to marry them. He did not get on a knee and ask her. She was okay to bust it in, like y'all say it all the time. Y'all say this, right? She was good enough to be the playgirl, but not good enough to be the wife. So how can you have that situation, but people are not dating each other, right?
So you tell it.
Let me just finish saying.
Go ahead.
And I'm gonna be done. All I'm telling you is people like incentives. Humans like incentives. It's not a woman thing. It's not a male thing. People like incentives. So I'm saying it would not be bad if we stop giving those women who are in the streets, the attention that we give them, and instead take that attention and give it to the virgins. And there'll be something so for example, if we adapted the culture of Amira, I think that would be a good incentive. That's all I'm saying. Why is that not?
Shan, hold on, wait, Bruiser. Shan, the problem with what you just said is you said, the one that she busted open for, the one that she gave a child to did not bend his knee to marry her. Are you telling me that there wasn't a man out there that was willing to marry her though? Just because he didn't want to doesn't mean that there aren't any men that want to marry her. And as a matter of fact, the one that want to marry her might actually give her more than the man that she's busting it open for that's only giving her hard dick. But she's turned him down to go after the motherfucker that ain't got shit but hard dick to give her.
Let me clarify this, right? I think you guys are thinking 30-year-olds because we like to marry late. I'm talking about when you're supposed to get married, when you're in the prime of your life, you're young in your 20s, right? You don't have all the experience of being in the streets. The problem is, one, we marry too late. So you got all of your 20s, all of your 30s, all this time to be in the streets, when if you just marry when you're the most fertile, when you're in your prime, we wouldn't have these issues. And no, that's just what it is. We marry late.
Show me a family that's promoting their daughters to marry in their early 20s. Show me one.
The ideal time to marry.
No, show me a family that is telling their daughters in the Black community to marry at 21.
I know people who want to get married.
Show me a family that is promoting for their daughters to jump fresh out of high school at 18, 19, 20 to go out there and jump the broom.
I listen, I'm from Alabama where you marry, it's normal to marry early. So, because they're more family oriented. I just live in Atlanta, but in small towns, that's not abnormal.
So, I'm only talking about the majority. Is this happening in the majority where
rural
you got families?
Areas are the majority? Believe it or not, urban areas are not the majority.
I'm not saying that. Tell me in the
guys. We want to get other people in the conversation too.
I'm done. I mean, if you don't understand, you just didn't understand.
No, I understand it. It's just the problem with what you're saying is it doesn't add up to what's going on here. Because the women
have been trying to speak forever.
No, well, I was just saying you revealed something that we kind of glossed over. because that conversation her Shannon and Sweeney had, we done had that shit a million times. You said something about the woman got to act right. What happens to a woman over there if she don't act right?
Good question.
You're asking.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about the negative things, and I would rather us just focus on the positive things that can happen.
I think it's a valid question though. He's not doing it to shed light on any negativity, but I see where he's going with it. I think it's important. You don't have to like be super graphic, but we just want to know if there's consequences and what are they.
Yeah, because there's two important things. Shannon saying if we can be like this culture, but understand what comes with that culture. First of all,
it doesn't have to be that far, Ruther. Stop praising people who in the streets. We have a problem with giving people attention for thought like.
That's
the second point, because the stick and the carrot, the stick is still there.
The second thing, that's the second part to it. The first part is the act right culture, the act right side of the culture. You don't want that. The second part is, you said the streets. If you look at her culture, most of or 9 times out of 10, or most of the women that's not married are probably a virgin, or probably have never been with a man and they waiting on a man. That streets is different than the streets over here. The streets over here, that is highly unlikely to run into a virgin. The streets over there is different. So those are two factors. And if you're not a virgin, you're probably gonna get some act right. You know what I'm saying? Or you're gonna get stamped, or somebody gonna know that you're not a virgin. Or I think you gotta reveal that or some shit. Like it's a code, a conduct or something. That, hey, look, I'm not a virgin, I'm still willing to do this. Or you might be blackballed from the code.
Yeah, like they're gonna look at the sheets.
I don't have a problem with blackballing.
You know what I'm saying? I think it's a record. I think
the problem with that though is that the hymen can be torn through a lot of different activities.
I think Amira spoke about that before a while ago. Just kind of went into detail.
Yeah, there's the sheets, the white sheets that are put on the bed before marriage. They're usually put on the bed by the family of the girl. They bleach the sheet till you can see everything on the sheet, and they use that sheet as a marital sheet. And once that is completed, the next day the mother-in-law will flash the sheet in front of the family, or just to it's a sign of pride, but it can be very invasive.
What if it's like
and that's what I'm saying, like the act right part.
We gotta think about these things.
One of her friends told me that during her mother's marriage, it was hard because they had to cut the stitches open, and she only wanted her husband to do it, but the father and the brother had to be there, and they held her down as they did it.
Stitches? What the stitches?
What you talking about?
Confused.
No, I didn't watch it. It was one of my friends. I don't remember. She was from, I don't know if she was Indian, but I know she was like brown skin. And I was in cosmetology school with her, and she was telling me about some of the things that they're fighting over there for, like women rights and stuff like that.
You're talking about genital mutilation.
We don't have that. That's not something that we have.
Y'all going with that, but all I was saying was, when Shan making this case that all we got to do is not touch the women in the streets, we could be like that culture. You got to understand that the guys that's going out there, they're looking for women, I think they're faced with a different population of women to choose their wives from, and they don't have impersonators in there. Because if you want to be honest, everybody pretty much dressed like they done been bust down, and they portray like they don't have, like every woman gonna say, oh no, I'm like, no, I like that. They done had 100 niggas that come in this out of their room, but I ain't like that. I'm a different girl. You always a different girl after the next body. Every bust down, you just got to hold. Well, they got it. They get this clarity or something. But my thing is, I don't want you to to give details because I don't want to trigger nobody, but I really want to understand the act right part of it. Like, what does that entail? Without being like, you know what I'm saying?
Graphic.
I mean, it's a different. That would be a whole different show for JR to
Okay,
put
well,
because it's good. Yeah.
but you can understand if we had act right culture over here, and it was the culture was pushing virginity before marriage, we wouldn't have this issue where men are coming into the streets and doing this. Like I think all of these things will cancel each other out. So that's not what the problem is. And I think somebody in the chat said women over there get an award or reward for holding on to their virginity. My question is, y'all don't think y'all get a reward over here for holding on to your virginity? Look at your community. It should be you should feel like it's a reward to have a nuclear family. I get it, the Bentley and all this shit. I think the nuclear family and a thriving people and a thriving community, a growing success as a community is way more rewarding than the 2 gold bars and the Bentley. That's gonna fade away.
Nah, they just want to be cat ladies.
No, I agree with you, but not
I was just
everybody
fucking
over
with you, Doc.
here. You got to remember, not everybody over here is family oriented, right? We don't believe in villages over here. We move away from our family. It's all individualized. So yeah, I agree absolutely what you're saying, but let's just be real. Not everybody believes that here.
So and that's the thing. So because Shan, there was a lot of people in the chat that was agreeing with you, right? And I was kind of going back and forth with one of the guys in the chat. And when you say that these women are being rewarded for busting it open in the streets, they're not really being rewarded. Look at their scenario. Look at all of their situations at the end of the day. Most of them are single. A lot of them are single mothers. And a lot of them aren't even happy about it. They're miserable. So is that really a blessing or them being rewarded?
So what I'm saying is most women are not virgins when they get married here.
Not fair. I don't think
whenever they marry, whether they be a high class, maybe they're not busting it open, they're definitely not virgins.
But all right, so let me try to figure this out then. So what are you saying that only the virgins should be rewarded for being virgins, that maybe women would be more likely to be virgins?
Yep.
But if the men aren't expecting them to be virgins, then what is the point? They just don't want them to be hoes.
So we were just talking about virginity.
No. Okay. So you based it off of the conversation regarding them talking about the women being virgins and all this. But yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. If we're talking about it from that perspective, that men are over here, it is a non-starter for women to be virgins, then I see where you're coming from. But that's not even but to your point though, that's not our culture. The men over here don't expect them to be virgins. They just don't expect them to be running the streets and disrespectful and uncooperative. We're not asking for our women to be virgins.
We don't penalize. There's no penalty for the woman to bust it open. For directly coming from us. We might weigh it in, but her being
and if she don't care about the penalty, she gonna go and do whatever the hell she want to do.
She gonna do whatever she want to do. We can't even add. I think we took that. I think that at some point there used to be, laws or something like that, or there used to be some type of tradition or something like that. But then we kind of took it away. I don't know who the hell did that. I don't know if that happened over there in Europe before they came over to the New World or whatever. But it just did. I guess it just didn't even matter. Like she can come non-virgin. But I'm trying to figure out what is the equivalent of a woman being a virgin? What is the male equivalent? A woman being virgin, a man being X.
Rich.
Who?
Rich? Guess rich. I guess Bentley and 2 gold bars rich.
So So
You
the,
asked. I'm just saying.
hold on, is it? Hold on, come on now, because Rich over here was what is that? Millionaire.
Hey,
So
look, Amir got a Bentley and 2 gold bars and a diamond necklace. So we talk. Let's say for the sake of argument, we grant Shan's point, right? And she says the women who are virgins should have a value to them that goes beyond, you know what I mean, what we've been typically give women that we marry, right? So if the regular woman who may have had a boyfriend or something like that, and she's not a virgin, comes in and she gets the regular, you know, she gets the nuclear family and the house and you know what I mean, and he may be a manager at Amazon or some shit, or you know, whatever. Then what do the virgin get out the deal? And I guess she get 2 gold bars and a goddamn Bentley.
So the man can't just come in as a virgin man, financially stable. He's got a house, he's got a car, he's got a nice career. You're telling me that that's not enough to get a virgin woman in America?
Oh yeah, if he has a nice career, sure.
I didn't say
If
a nice career.
he makes a good living, sure.
What's a good living?
5,000 a year.
If what you say?
Damn, she couldn't
I
hear
got
that.
you know, I got the flu. I think I couldn't hear this.
You heard what he said. He said he made $55,000 a year.
I'm joking, y'all. It's a joke because you know how people.
He can give her a 3-bedroom, 1 bed. He can give her a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. They have a cash car. They have 1 car that they pay a car note on and 1 cash car.
She gets the man that she wants. Some women want that.
No, I'm asking you, what
get
can
the man that she
he
wants?
get a virgin?
Huh?
Can that man get a virgin? The guy with the 55,000, 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house, Toyota Camry, 99 Toyota Camry as a cash car. You may be paying a car note on a 2023 Hyundai.
You're doing the absolute most right now. But if that's the man that she wants and she's a virgin, sure.
No, wait, Shannon.
Laughing, Sweeney.
Man, Mona, wait. You guys are making this seem like this is a purchase. My situation was different because of my class. My class called for different things. But a woman, if a woman is getting married to a man, she has to be ready to live by his means in our culture. Like, if you know, whatever the man is making, you got to be ready to live by that. If he's making 55,000 a year, that woman has to be prepared to live at 55,000 a year. If he's making, you know, above that, then so be it. But it's not always a case of getting gold or not. My class is different, but yeah, and my husband is
So
different.
do y'all do this? Let's say the man make 55,000 a year. Over here, the women would try to push the man to increase his income threshold so that to increase the lifestyle, instead of saying, okay, we can just live here. Do y'all do that over there? Do y'all push them to?
The men do that, not the women. The women don't say, oh baby, let's do this, no. Typically they have the men work together. So if you have a man and you marry into a family, typically her father or her brother or her uncles, they have businesses, and you'll start working in the family business together. You'll network, and you may branch off, and then you have a network because you're working with them. This is how communities work together. You guys see how the Jewish always work together, how they always have each field in their group. That's the same way every other community does it. And I think Black people should be the same, where you have in your community, in your group, your main group, you have a doctor, an attorney, a chiropractor, a policeman, a judge. You need to have all of these things in your group. And if you're missing something, you need to get somebody to do that field, so you can always have something in your group. That's how you keep your race and your community strong.
Community. What we do is, yeah, that's what I think a community is. You have all of these specialties and these experts in these positions that help out that circle. I think what we do over here is we would like to have that. We label community. We took it back. We label community as, okay, you just look like me. That's community. When I think community should be not only do you look like me, your family handles textile industry or whatever. My family handles technology. His family handles crops and stuff like that. That family handles engineering or some shit like that, or the political field, and we all come together and we exchange resources. That's the community. Yeah, we still have the color, but we also have an exchange of resources between each other. I think that's what's missing over here. I think we lost. I think there's micro communities over here, like small little pockets, that they identify and they work together. But as far as like, I think we just made it like, oh, we black pair, we are community. Well, that's the black community. But it's really there's no way to point to the account balance. Like, this is the black community's account balance. I think what we're doing is just look at all the average black people and we say this the average income, the average amount we retain by year, and that's the balance. Or
if you mess with one of us, you're gonna be in our group until you choose to get out. Like, if you're my friend, let's say McPherson and Shayna, you my friend, you call me, Amira, my car is broke down, I don't know what to do. I send you, oh, okay, I know an Arab body shop, go to them. Oh, it's not gonna work. Okay, I know my uncle, he has a dealership, you can go get a car there. After that, oh, my house is it. Well, my family, we have a construction business, we can help you there. And it's all
y'all wouldn't go outside of it to like the white man or to y'all wouldn't go get y'all hair from Chong, or y'all wouldn't go get y'all car.
Of course, you can always extend it. We have white people who do it too. But if you're looking for us,
my bad. I didn't mean it. Sorry, Ali. I mean, you know what?
This nigga is okay. I see your comments too.
Yeah, he was wrong for that. So we go,
Well, what you get what I'm saying? Okay,
he couldn't come out. He ain't have a name in mind. You.
I guess I knew you were laughing because I see my face.
Yeah, that's 2 weeks in a row, Darwin, man. What you doing, bro?
Hold on, so y'all gonna really do that to me? Yeah. Oh, I've been through this mode.
They holding him accountable.
Can I add something? This conversation is very interesting for me to observe, because everybody else on this panel is distinctly in their community. And as someone who's biracial and was raised biracial and intercultural, it's just so fascinating to see this tug of war of no, stay in the community, no, go out of the community, no, stay in the community. When it's, the conversation of, is it okay for everybody to step back and forth between each other is not really entertained. So I don't know. That's why it's hard for me to entertain this conversation, because it's so secular and that goes against my entire existence. Right. So I don't know. That's why I've been kind of more.
What's your mix?
When you were talking about 90 Day Fiance, I love that show because I say my parents are like the 90 Day OGs, right? They've been married 40 years. My mom's from Korea and my dad's from the States. So it's like, everything that everyone is talking about mixing cultures and all this other stuff, it's like, that's the only thing I've ever known, right? So that's why I said in the comments, like, I get it, Amira's culture in the Middle East, women are not allowed to make those decisions. But in my personal opinion, if they were allowed to make those decisions, that I think we would see more blending. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But again, you can't change the laws, but I would hope that that's what would happen for the future, is more blending. But then I also know there's people on the panel that are totally against that, right? Like, we don't want our communities to mix. And so
people on this panel right here,
it appears that way, right? We don't ever really talk about it that much, right? So
blended, we are blended.
I don't know where you get that from, because
the statistic that's always thrown out is,
it's a fair statement. It's a fair statement.
The statistic that's specifically always thrown out is that the majority of Black men marry, 95% of the Black men that marry Black women, right?
Haiti.
And I'm the opposite demographic. Remember, I'm an Asian woman, and Asian women actually marry more outside of their race. We assimilate more marrying outside. So that's why I say my experience and my perspective hearing this conversation feels totally different than everyone else.
So what is your purpose? You would you marry a brother?
Well, my argument to that is because I've had people say,
Argument? Damn.
Listen. No, I'm gonna answer you. My argument when people say marry within your race, my exact reply is, show me the Korean and white community, because I don't even know where they're at. I have no choice but to date and marry outside of my race, right?
No, it's actually in California. They got a large like the military, bro. But never mind.
Yeah. So, but it's like I'm in Chicago. Come on, So it's like I don't have a choice but to date outside of my race and to blend cultures. So it's like I'm generation.
Is it safe to assume that because you in the black manosphere, your appetite for the color? I mean, not the color.
What was your question?
Did y'all hear my shit the only one that's tweaking right now?
His question was, do you like black men? The answer is yes.
I think mine just did the same thing.
I've only ever dated people of color. I've never dated white people.
And when we say people of color, because they got another layer, is it black or brown?
Both. But I lean toward the black community.
Okay. Kamsamida.
Yeah, chamaneo. Oh, you know that.
Swirler. She's a swirler.
I was stationed in Tongduchon. Not Tongduchon. Was it? Yeah, Tongduchon. Camp Casey.
My people are from Busan. We're not from Seoul. We're like the South Siders of Korea.
I know where that's at. I've been down to Daegu and all that, Camp Walker and Busan.
Sorry, I could probably explain it better in a different way.
No, I got you. That was actually funny as well.
I swear to you, when my mom comes to Chicago, she can't talk to these Seoul Koreans because she's like, huh? But anyway, sorry, that was just my perspective listening to everybody talk about diving in and out of marrying in and out of cultures. Like, I feel like the future is eventually going to have to be blended, where people are going to have to compromise. So the solution being, if there was a way for the women in Qatar to marry outside, then maybe people would be happier, the men and the women.
Would you still consider marrying your own race? Because they say once you go black.
Where are they at?
Well, I'm just saying.
You got to go by people that came off the military bases, the white.
And I'm not fresh off the boat either. So you got to get I was raised in the United States. So it's
you
like,
what your nearest Taekwondo dojo?
That's why I say I'm lightweight Korean. Like, I'm not heavyweight Korean over here. So it's just
Did you say go to a Taekwondo dojo? Get the fuck
I didn't want to say get a pedicure. I tried to keep.
That's Vietnamese, not Korean. But I don't know where they're at. Like, I legit don't. So if you find it, let me know. Then I might.
So, Ali, I agree with your sentiment, right? Like, I think that I don't have anything against people who decide to swirl. It is what it is. That's just my stance on it. Now, economically, I do understand where America was coming from, because the way it is, every other culture is doing that. They're keeping their money within their community, and also, I guess, infiltrating our community, right? Any other culture can come and take over an entire block, right? And have a whole strip, right? The gas station not owned by us, the corner store not owned by us. The places there we should have access to. We understand the Walmarts and the juggernauts, but the corner store, the little shopping centers and all that, we don't even get that most of the time. Everybody else is allowed to do that. Now, where is it what other community can we do that in? We can't. We can't even do that. There's no place that's going to accept us taking over a whole strip where you just see our shit in their community. It doesn't happen like that. So I think that's the problem that people have, and no one's going to help us. So that's why we're like, you know what, we got to help ourselves, at least economically, just because that's just how everybody else is making sure they contribute to their communities and not contributing to ours.
I mean, it's not a coincidence that the lay of the land is the way that it is. I read this book called Cast: The Origins of Our Discontent by Isabel Wilkerson. It's on Oprah's book club. It's a really fantastic read. It talks about how the United States has a social and economic and political caste system that is not written down, but it's there. We live by it whether we want to admit it or not. And as minorities, we are on there. You know, we're all in different levels. So I don't know, you have to read it to be able to, it makes sense why we are the way that we are.
Well, let me ask you this, Ali. Well, this is what I assume. I'm not sure. This is what I heard. Is it behoove you who, if you do, let's say you do secure a black man to marry you, it behoove you which one you choose, because word on the streets is if you secure a black man that's of high status, a lot of the sisters is going to rub them wrong way.
No,
Because
it's not.
No.
And I'm trying to get you to understand, because they would prefer you to get the lowest of their man instead of the highest. Because if you choose the highest, that's not gonna. Are you okay with the backlash that come with that? Because we see it every day. A lot of women or other races are taking the high status man, like the top athletes, the top entrepreneurs. But whenever the other races take the pookies and the bottom of the barrel, that's fine. So I'm just warning you. I think that's what's going around on the street. So just be okay with that when it comes. If you do get a guy that's 6 figures or some shit like that, or he's like a high top tier guy or whatever, just know what that's gonna come with.
Oh, you're telling me something I haven't heard before. They just got to remember what side, if they're going to be mad at me, which side they want to be mad at, the white side or the Asian side. They better know what they're coming at then, because that's never happened to me in my entire existence where I would face backlash. So those that personally know me know that it would be a non-issue. So
okay, then I'm just making sure, because
no, I understand your warning, but yeah,
because I see it all the time, like these top athletes, these top dudes. Yeah,
here's
go
the
ahead.
thing: is I've had this exact conversation with other white women who don't participate in the Black community and only want to date Black men, and that's problematic. I do not surround myself with women like that because they're just very biased in the way that they move. So I am blessed to say that I have a lot of beautiful Black women in my life that have welcomed me with open arms, that I consider to be family. So I think that would be the differentiating factor, right? That's why I said in the comments, I'm not fresh off the boat here, right? I was born and raised in the United States. I'm active in the Black community. I have family that's Black. Like my godson is Black. Like it's different for me because the mutual respect and love and care is there, right? So it would be different if I was targeting specifically these high value Black men and rubbing it in people's faces or doing something like that. But that's disingenuous, right?
Your dad's son is Black, you said?
Your
brother?
My godson is, and my family, all my family's mixed, right?
Is Black.
So I hear what you're saying, but I think it's so individual, right? I think what you would be sharing would be more appropriate for someone who isn't familiar and is an Asian that has never stepped into the Black community, right?
You didn't hear her say before that she been outside. She hung out in Chicago. She was talking about the block that day on the porch. You don't remember none of this stuff, Darwin?
Hold on. She said she been outside.
Not like you want to say she outside. We use outside differently. I'm not saying she was out here 3:00. When I say outside, I mean like so in Chicago, JR and Sweeney will tell you like in the summertime and throughout the year, people be outside. They be on their porch. Like I know people say ain't no Black community, but here you can damn near know everybody in it because you're gonna walk past their house. Their ass gonna be out there. It's a candy lady down there on every corner. It like we know each other real well. A lot of times you be related to the people because you don't move that far, more than 5 to 10 minutes from your family in the city. So when she say she's in like she's going in the real black communities in there and hanging out is what she's saying, and making like bonds with people that's going past like I just like black man.
Well, be careful out there, cause I know them brothers love them thick.
I'm the lightest one on the block, and that's okay. Whatever.
Well,
what the hell are we talking about, man?
I do not know.
And tell me this is the way that we finna start our new year off. Listen, I was just told just a few minutes ago, okay, after I ordered my appetizer, that my budget for my date, my first date, is $30. Like where they do that at, you know what I mean? And then
you're supposed to be a grown woman and you're recording me. You're being loud, disrespectful. We're in a restaurant.
Never.
You can't conduct yourself like a mature lady.
I am conducting myself.
I gave you $30 budgets.
No, $30.
You think
so
you're gonna get here?
You don't even get a chance. This man don't even get a chance to talk anymore because you know what, he's saying all this stuff about me, and it's not true. I am what?
You think?
What? No.
You think I'm gonna let you order up this whole menu and
the whole menu?
Think you're trying to
play you?
No, you can't
for
play me.
For an appetizer,
if you go over
a drink.
If you go over $30, you paid. I'm sorry.
$30. So you know I'm not worth $30. Hey y'all, I'm not worth $30. I'm not worth $30. I tell you, no. I tell you what. How about we do this? No. How about you just go ahead, get gone. I got this.
No problem.
I got this. No, I don't want anything. No. What I want you to do.
You're very immature.
No, sir. Sir, I want you to just go. Have a blessed day. Have a blessed day, sir. Sir, have a blessed day. Get gone.
Trev, I know you be telling us. I know you be telling us.
Yeah. I was just about to stop you, Sweeney. Don't do it. Please don't do it.
Man, just go
with it. Just go with it, bro. Just go with it, Sweeney.
I'm gonna let y'all have it, bro. I can't go with this, bro. That shit was some straight up.
Yo, stop! Don't kill it, bro. You trying to kill the vibe, man?
If I'm gonna go with it,
go with it, please.
If I'm gonna go with it, I finally understand what Marcus and Viz and Trev be talking about when they say they don't argue with people. Cause why the fuck are you sitting there arguing with that chick? Soon as you pulled the phone out and started recording me talking about my budget only $30, I'm chucking up the deuces to your dumb ass. If I'm gonna pretend it's bullshit, I finally understand when y'all say I don't argue with people because that was not worth the argument. I'm not about to sit here and go back and forth with you.
Listen, I think he did it wrong. First of all, like you don't try to put these type of parameters on him. First off, that was a really low threshold. He should, if your budget is $30, then y'all probably should have just went for coffee, right? And then maybe you get like a litlittle pastry or something. You know what I'm saying? You should have took it to Starbucks. If your budget's $30, then you go to Starbucks, right? Something like that. Because it's understandable. Okay, if that's what you got, that's what you got.
You know how much you can get for $30 for one person? He said her budget was $30. He didn't say the budget for the whole table was $30. Not much you can get for $30.
It depends. I don't know, man. Food is expensive right now.
Man, at that restaurant looked like it was at like a Denny's or some shit.
Restaurant yesterday.
They might have been at Shoots.
I mean,
Ponderosa Steakhouse. You could get a whole lot for $30.
It wasn't a buffet. Listen, I don't. If you go to you could go to IHOP or something like that and literally spend $60, bro. Easy.
Nah, bro.
What are you talking about?
Nah.
I've done it, bro, and I'm not even talking about going crazy.
$60, you can get a whole lot for $60.
I'm talking about for two people.
No, he said her budget for just her was $30.
Yeah,
just she had a $30
and
budget.
you 60.
Yeah, you can get a whole lot for $60 at IHOP. You can get 3 refills of juice, some orange juice. You can probably get 2 Grand Slams.
Wherever they was at, they had an appetizer. So let's say you get an appetizer. You're not really gonna get an appetizer for less than like $8, right? And then you get a main course. If she got an appetizer, you're going over that $30 threshold. Once you get a drink, you get that. You get a refill. Fuck around and get a refill. It's over.
I'm pulling up.
I think it's interesting that he set the value at $10 below what niggas is paying for pussy, supposedly.
Let's see, man. Here's the entree menu at. You can get. Let me pull this shit up real quick. At IHOP right now, you can get an Atlantic salmon dip meal for $16.99. You can get some sirloin steak tips for $14.99. You can get a T-bone steak for $17.99. That's just for one person. She could have got a T-bone steak, a side order of juice. I mean, some juice, a coffee. Hell, she might have been able to even get a margarita out the deal. You can get some country fried steak for $12.99. What else they got on this?
Sweeney, but they might not have been at IHOP. Who knows where they went? He should have
Man,
went.
they look like
So
they look like
the
they was
point
at
was he should have
Ponderosa.
went somewhere within his budget, right? Where he knows that if your budget is $30 per person, then you like, all right, if I'm that bad, I'm probably not dating first off. But let's just say I really needed the date, for whatever reason, then I'm just gonna go ahead and be like, all right, let me look at this menu and see what's up. And then just plan it out like, okay, it's going to be hard for her to get over the threshold of $30. But like, I think it was tacky as hell, man. I think she was corny to record it, of course. But
you think you could pay more than 30?
Huh?
Was it?
Was that
more than that? Do you think he wanted? What if a man doesn't want to pay that much? What is he supposed to do? What if he genuinely like, I don't want to pay no more than $30 for the date? What is he supposed to do? Is he supposed to just go somewhere, or can he just go where he want to and say, hey, look, you just got to cover the rest?
Nah, that's tacky, bro. That's tacky. I'm sure that's something you never did.
No, that's not what I do. But I'm just saying, though, we got to speak about most men. With most men, and then most women, that they both. Let's agree that they both work. They both work and earn enough to pay for their own meal, right? We can at least say that they both work enough. Both parties, that man and that woman, earn enough to be able to cover their own costs on a date, right? This is a date. What I'm asking, what is a man supposed to do if he genuinely feels like, hey, look, I just want to pay $30. That's it. I'll cover $30. He don't really got to pay nothing for real. If
Darwin, he could do something that's cost restricted already. So spend his $30 he was going to spend on her, and then create a picnic and go to the park if she want to be around him. Something that the cost is already baked in, so it don't have to keep going up. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
I get it, but I'm just saying, like, what if he just like, you know what? She work, I work. Let's just meet. Let's just pay for our own meals. But
you can say that.
I'll cover 30.
You can say whatever you want.
If you would have established that they were going Dutch ahead of time and she agreed to it, fine. But don't go somewhere and then try to put a threshold on her on the spot. That's weird.
Because what I'm trying to understand is things change, right? We live in a society where everybody wants to be equal, men and women. We want to have our own careers. We want to get our own independence and then meet somewhere and try to figure out if we can mesh. What I'm saying, given today's society and given the way things have evolved, does it seem like it's foreign for a man to say, hey, look, just cover your own costs now?
I think it's weird. There's a way to avoid a lot of that stuff. The main thing that you're supposed to do is really talk to a person a lot. I think we rush into dates too much. You need to vet this person, really have some deep conversations, make sure that you're on the same level as far as religion is concerned, as far as having kids, as far as lifestyle, as far as moral value. You should really get to know a person. You should really make sure that you like each other, that you appreciate each other. And if you really vet well and you having those great conversations, and I don't think you would have a problem just treating her if that's what you want to do. But you shouldn't rush into a date because you're going to get done dirty. I understand that there are women who are plate pirates and that ain't cool. But on the other hand, if you vet them enough, then you'll be able to discern, all right, this is like somebody who's solid. You'll be able to tell how quickly she texts you back, or is she ignoring you? Is she concerned about your well-being? Does she make sure she knows what's good for you? Is she thinking about investing in you, whether it's time, money, otherwise, effort? So before you do that first date, I think that you should vet. And if you do, you won't run into situations like this.
Well, let's just the vetting process is going to take place at the dinner table. Like you said, let's just say that, hey, I want to, for example, if I tell a woman I want to take her out, let me take you out to get some dinner. I'm going to pay for it. But if she said, hey, look, I want to go out to dinner, then did that still put me on the spot that I got to pay for it? Something that I didn't want. I just agreed to.
Whatever you agree to is what, like Trevor's saying, is what. If you tell her, I want to go out and I want you to pay, and she says yes, then she paying.
Like, oh no. So y'all are assuming that they're gonna say they're gonna discuss who's gonna pay ahead. That's what you're saying, Trey.
Hell yeah, you should. You should have it established. You should have it established. Absolutely. But you should have those conversations before you go on a date.
Okay, I get it. But we do
most of us ain't rich. Most of us ain't rich. Why are we trying to put ourselves in bad predicaments? If he know that he balling on a budget.
What the way most conversations flows is, hey, let's go out on a date. All right, where are we going? Okay, I'll meet you at 7. But you're saying most conversations go like, hey, let's go out on a date. Okay, who's paying? Is that what you said?
No, conversations don't happen like that. So like whenever you going out, it's already assumed that the man is paying unless the woman specifically say, hey, I want to take you out. I want to take you out for your birthday. Hey, I appreciate what you did. I want to take you out. They're going to specifically let you know. Otherwise, it's going to be presumed that the man is going to be covering. Even if she suggests that she wants to go somewhere. Now, you do have some.
That's the question I was asking. Even if she say, hey, I want to go to Roof Chris. Let's go.
Well,
follow that way. I don't have Roof Chris money, but you can figure out how we could go.
You can't say that. So I do want to expand on this, right? Like I do want to expand on this because like some women will say it ain't tricking if you got it. So do you guys think that might be just a play on words to talk about you? Or do you think that some men have in their mind that I'm just not going to be tricking on women?
They have it in their mind, I'm not going to be tricking on women.
I think every guy has a dollar amount in their mind that's considered tricking, including the tricks. Like there's a certain dollar amount there's a certain dollar amount of threshold you go past that you feel like, okay, I'm tricking at this point.
How is he tricking her? Like, is he gonna like put the bill
Lord.
with her in the case?
No, Amir. Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, not like that. That's a term.
It's a
okay,
term.
how about we do this? Where he's spending unnecessary money on her, and she really don't. She ain't feeling him. He just like tricking, just blowing money on her, just for the hell of it, just because she looks good, just because he really likes her. He just tricking, taking a shot, then, paying for this, paying for that, paying a rent. He just tricking.
Simping.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. It's not necessarily simping.
Well, is it simping if you got it?
Simping on a monetary level, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say it's that.
Is it tricking if you got it?
There's a difference between generosity and simping.
That's what I was gonna say. I think tricking is if you don't have it and you give it up anyway. That's why I said I think every man has a dollar amount that's considered tricking at that point. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for instance, if a dude buys, if a dude takes every girl that he asks out on a date to the Waffle House, a person that ain't got Waffle House money would consider that tricking. But a person that got Waffle House money would be like, I just want to eat at the Waffle House.
There's outcome attached to tricking. The outcome attached to the tricking is I want to get some cheeks at the end of the day by any means. I got it. I'm gonna throw it at it and I'm gonna see what it do. The simping part is, even though I know I probably can't get the cheeks, I'm gonna still throw it on there in hopes.
Yeah, that's the difference. That's what I would argue is the difference. I think tricking, we kind of already think tricking
is, for a shack 80-90%. If you throw if you put this much effort into it, you're gonna get some box. And that's really all you care about. So you're gonna put as much effort into it so you can get the outcome you want.
Hell, the girl is even likely to buy into it. Like, but simping, a lot of times with simping, it's like the girl, for a fact that the girl ain't interested. But you're doing it in hopes to make her interested. Whereas tricking, the girl at least acting like she interested. She may not even be interested, but at least you got some inkling that she might be interested because you know what I mean. So I would say that's the difference between tricking and simping. But they somebody put it in the chat. They kind of like stepbrothers. They kind of work in alignment, but
then you got generosity, which is the third piece to it. Which is
the cousin of tricking and simping.
For me, wherever I go, you know what I'm saying? If somebody's with me, I'm gonna take care of them. You don't got to give me nothing. This is what we're gonna do. I got the bill. I do that with my like whenever I was going on dates with women, I did that, and whenever I was hanging out with my buddies, you know what I'm saying? I got the tab this time. You cover it the next time or the next round. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference between generosity, tricking, and simping.
Yeah,
Wherever I go, I'm gonna go there because that's where I want to go. That's the night. That's the type of experience I want to have. And whoever's on my hip, whoever's around me, whoever's on my shoulder, is going to be able to get that same experience regardless if they got it or not. I'm gonna make sure they're good to go. That's the generosity part of it. But you have to be honest. You have to be able to earn enough to be able to do that shit because, and it all depends on your appetite too. Like some stuff is expensive, some stuff is not. But for me, there's some shit that I'm gonna stay away from. But for most part, I'm not gonna put myself in a position where I'm gonna break myself. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you on that, dog. Like I was wondering how you was gonna define this generosity. I thought you was just gonna describe tricking by another name. But
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I agree with that. Like basically that I got it this time, but then the next time the other person may have it, and it's just being generous.
Now I do that.
Yeah.
So and then here go the other thing.
You're not looking for anything.
If I want to go someplace and you're with me, then I'll take you. I don't consider that like necessarily trick. Well, in my scenario, because I'm not hard up to I don't gotta try and impress no one. You know what I'm saying? So if you're coming with me, it's because I wanted you to come. It ain't because I'm trying to impress you. So you could be like,
you don't know. It's not like at the end of the day, I'm not keeping track. You know what I'm saying?
Amira got something to say. She got some questions about the tricking and the simping and the generosity.
Well, if it's not tricking, if you got it, then okay. If it's not tricking, if you got it, then if you don't got it, like this guy, then he's not tricking.
He's being cheap.
Okay, my view on this guy is that if we watch that video with the sound off, he looks gay. He looks feminine. No. Wait, hear me out. When he was speaking, he said, "You $30. If you don't have the $30, that's what he did exactly."
He talking too much with his hands.
Play the video back there with the sound off. I want to see if she goes.
Just play it back with the sound off. Don't put the sound on. I gotta see this shit too.
I thought it was Music Soul Child for a minute.
Hold on, this is about to be funny as hell.
As soon as she shows him, you guys are gonna see.
Somebody said brokerist energy.
He shamed the fuck out that nigga too. Show me.
He did have an extra wave in that point.
Why is his shirt cut so low, man?
Yeah, you're right.
With that neck choker on. Oh hell.
Am I right or am I right?
You're right. You got to gauge how fast.
Yeah, he was struggling to get up together.
Yank your finger back like that. That's super broke.
That's why he confused.
Man, y'all know this a goddamn skit. This is probably a gay homeboy who's just wanted to make a video to go viral on.
Look at his pointing. You see the
best
pointing? That's her best friend, guys. That's her best friend.
Yeah, that's why I said. That's why you heard Trev trying to get me to not call out the fact that the video is a skit, but you know what, man? Look,
Look at the head.
I would say I'm in agreement with Trev when he said that this is sucker behavior to sit here and put a budget on it, right? However, to say that $30 isn't enough for a meal or a night out for just a dinner, I'm just talking about just for a dinner. $30 is more than enough to eat and have two drinks and a glass of water. You can have two cocktails, a glass of water, get you an 8-ounce steak with some mashed potatoes and some broccoli.
Okay, now you're pushing it.
Steak gonna cost you $20 by itself.
I just looked it up. I'm on Applebee's right now. You can get an 8-ounce steak for $18.99 with some potatoes and some goddamn broccoli, and then I'll get me a half rack of ribs with some fries on the side. We both have 2 of them goddamn Applebee's special drinks for like $6.49 each. I cover the tip, and that cost her $31.84.
Why are you over there lying, sweetie? Sweetie, know he read.
I'm dead serious. I just did the math. Her meal cost $31.96.
Sweeney reading from a work order. He know he's worked there.
Bro, I went out yesterday. My appetizer was like $34, bro.
What the hell you eating an appetizer for? You don't need no goddamn appetizer. All you do is get straight to the meal.
Sweetie got all that.
Yo. Yo.
What? Appetizer.
Well, first off, bro, I consume a lot of calories
for the
throughout the day.
restaurant.
So.
But
Hey, funny story though, right? So
before you get a story, just answer this quick, Sweeney. Is it true what they say that if a woman go out on a date with you and she eat till she full, 9 times out of 10 she's not having sex with you because the women don't want to have sex on a full stomach?
I don't know, nigga. Shit.
Bullshit.
That seems weird.
So I'm saying, like, can you imagine missionary? Sometimes y'all like to lay down and not motorboat. I'm sorry.
I will say that eating on a full, you know what I mean, sex on a full stomach is a task.
What you got, Sweetie? You got to lay your stomach on top of her back hips. He like.
No, you ain't never tried to, like, I don't know, man. Maybe
you already belly, you know, so you gotta look.
It's hard to get up and you got a full stomach, let alone. I may get up out of bed, not get up. They gotta roll this stuff over like,
why you hit me.
But no, that's why I drink. That's why I eat after I drink. I don't like drinking on a full stomach either.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think that's something that might go viral. I mean, if somebody just, you know how motherfuckers is. You just say it as it is a fact. Motherfuckers don't know that as a talking point. Go around spreading it. If she eat a full, if she finish her whole meal and she eats dessert too, she not fucking you tonight, buddy. Like, I'm just saying, like, it makes sense though, logically. Like,
I ain't gonna lie to you. Logically, it probably is true. To be honest, if she eats to that bottom button on her, to that top button on her pants bust open, she ain't.
My detective has determined that was a lie.
And she get up from that motherfucking table like, oh yeah, ain't no way she. No, man, you're not hitting.
Amir, could you give us an example of how like the conversation goes when the wife is trying to like bargain with the man for like say a new Bentley or something? Is it is it like, how does
They
it
get
go?
pick what color and everything.
Do you be on this bumper like, oh, you know, do you hint at it? Is it subtle? Do you
Is it 2025? It gotta be a 2025 Bentley. Could it be like a 28?
Yeah.
No, watch. So the only thing that I can tell you guys is your art of persuasion is best after your man is full and full. Or full and empty.
Full and empty.
Full and empty. So the best conversation is when he's full and empty for us, and that's how we would talk to your man. You suggest things, and the most thing that like you see Arab women do is that they joke about it. If they joke about it, it's like they actually want it. They'll say something like, "You know what? Wouldn't it be nice if you bought me a Bentley? That would be so weird if I went to the garage and there was a Bentley." And then she'll be laughing, and the man, he's not gonna laugh. If he's not laughing, he don't want to buy you nothing. If he starts laughing or he does like an eye, you kind of figure maybe he's got it. He's not worried about what I said. I can say it again. Then later you suggest it. Then it's like, you know, I think I need a new car. I think my car is getting old. It's, you know, if he don't want to give it to you, he's gonna say, I know a mechanic. We'll fix it. We'll fix the car. What you need? You want to take Uber? But if he really is wanting to please you, then he'll maybe go with you and say,
you surprised me, man. I'm surprised.
The last one is to demand it. The last one is to say, I want a Bentley.
Amir, I'm surprised. I'm surprised you ain't super chat some of that dowry money or mahar.
It's not dowry.
When they gonna let you throw a G up that mother?
Man, we talking about.
Does that seem just a bit manipulative or even predatorial?
It's the way women.
Not from a wife. I mean, you're his wife. It doesn't work that way. You can't be a victim if you're husband.
Mm.
Burn through that mouth.
Wait a minute. That almost sound like the rule that just got wiped away. I don't know.
Well, it goes both ways. It goes both ways. If you guys don't like what I just said, it goes both ways. You can't rape a woman that's your wife.
Yes, you can in
No, you
America. Yes, you
No,
can.
that's not in
They
our culture.
that law has been wiped away. You absolutely can rape your wife. I'm sorry.
Trev,
Don't worry about
Trev.
it. My bad.
Not in our culture.
Trev, you asked her about her culture. You said, "Hey, ain't that a little manipulative?" She said, "No,
No,
not
I
technically."
said what? I ain't just say in America, and then she was like, "Yeah, no, you definitely can. You definitely can. It's definitely a law against it. I promise you. It
Well, yeah,
wasn't
in
always. That's true.
in America,
that's
you can't.
true.
Yeah, in America.
In America, you can't. What?
Hold on, you can't do what?
In America, yeah, you can't do that.
They're saying it's impossible to grape a your wife. It used to be the case.
Yeah,
but now it is definitely possible to essay your wife if you so happen
Trev,
to.
your bleep button is off.
If I give myself to my husband, I said I do, then how am I going to tell him it's not his event just on one night? I don't feel it. No, I said I do. I said I'm yours. I am yours. You are mine.
So if you get tapped on the shoulder at 3:30 in the morning, he just came home, whatever. There's no discussion, or if you're sick or you don't feel like, or maybe you got a headache.
I mean, most men are not going to do that if the woman is not feeling good anyway. I mean, unless you're with an ogre.
Nah, but if it's mine, it's mine.
I don't
man.
care.
If
Most
it's
men are going to do
Yes, it is, Amir. I mean, Trev, is that the same for me? Can men be raped in a marriage? Because we did,
yeah, by the same standards, it won't be taken seriously.
Because we saw a movie play out over and over again, and nobody said a word. I think it was a movie called Norbit, and Rasputia was taking him like she was raping the shit out there, dude.
What's up with y'all beep? Why is y'all beep always off? How you gonna get the word out then put the beep behind the word?
No. I see in the chat the woman said, "Oh, let her husband grape her. Why are you arguing with this lady? My husband cannot grape me. It's impossible. There's no way that he could. You can't grape the willing. No."
Oh.
Okay. So you're saying because you're always offering is what you're saying.
No, I gave myself to my husband.
She said she's on the table.
It's a tradition. She's saying that all women are breaking the tradition. They're saying it shouldn't even be a such thing as, "Oh no, I don't feel like it," or
yeah. You guys can talk about it. You guys, she can say like, "I don't really feel like it." And if the guy is civilized, he will say, "Okay, I understand."
But you will warn him that, "Hey, look, baby, I probably don't want to do that. I got the BGs tonight."
Hey, if he wants it, it's better that you give it to him.
There's gonna be BGs all over the. Oh hell, she gonna be eating on the full stomach, blowing chunks of the curry on them.
Bubble guts.
You know what the BGs is, Amir?
Bubble guts.
No.
The bubble guts.
You should have
know
known
what the bubble guts are.
I don't know.
It's hold on, wait. Have you ever felt sick and your stomach started doing the bebops?
I have that today. I feel so
Oh
bad.
hell, we ain't have to tell us now. Ah, damn.
My tummy feels so bad. I'm sorry.
Period.
We talking about
I
that
feel
case.
so
And he's
bad.
like, you gonna warn him, like, at least warn him, like, "Hey, look, I don't want to do that." Because
Vera said, "Hey, I'm yours, then. Hey, bubble guts and all." She said she yours.
I mean, you can tell your husband, but if he says I still want it, I'm not gonna say no. I'm gonna say, well, you already know what you're gonna get. You know it. That's it. It's his choice, but I'm not gonna say no.
Oh, okay.
Next thing you know, she got to clean some dirty sheets the next day.
Big An 11, $10 to the Marcus line. He can't dunk either. Scorpio, $5 says, based on the mirror, this is no different from FBA passport bros going to Latin women because they tired of FBA women. BZ, $5 says, chat shenanigans. How many goats would y'all give for Sham Monet? Bruno, $2. Thank you. Gina, $2 says she got offended because black men date within their race. Delaware 49 says $30 get you a lot of Waffle House. He took you to the wrong spot.
I'm telling you, bro.
$7.89, $5 says, ladies, don't take no man money or time if you don't genuinely like him. If he just want to spend money, have a good time, tell him to get a call, girl. I think everybody has contributed to the platform tonight. Thank you. Anybody got anything to say before we get up out of here?
I did want to tell my funny ass story, but I'll tell it after we get off.
No, go ahead and tell that story.
Nah, hell no. I'm not leaving that shit for the chat. Ain't about to flip my story.
Okay. I hit the like button. Make sure you guys follow everybody on the platform. They IG should be inside the description. So follow them. Everybody got some great things going on. YouTube channels, counseling, coaches, all type of stuff. Cut hair, barbers, skincare, everything you need. Just click the link and support all of the creators,
Rice,
influencers, all of that good stuff. And yeah, that's it, man. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. Catch us next Thursday. We out.